And we're live. How's it going, everybody?
How you
How's it going,
doing?
Marty? How's it going, Matt?
Going well. Can't complain.
Excellent, excellent. Better for seeing you, gentlemen.
Nice, nice. Thanks for coming, guys. I mean, thanks for hanging out with me this Friday for Weekly Rewind.
Anytime.
It's one of those things where, like, since Don has been busy and stuff like that, I didn't want to pressure him into like doing in the house and stuff like that. So I figured since he's busy, I'll just try to do something else, just kind of hang out with people still, and just have guests on and stuff like that. And when I reached out to Matt, Matt said he was available, so I'm like, cool, Marty. You had actually messaged me about if I was going to do any streams. I'm like, well, by the way,
Yeah, it's funny because I've been saying to Don for a while, oh yeah, I'll be back. I'll be available on Fridays. I'll be available on Fridays, and then I've not been available on Fridays until Don's too busy as well. So it's like it's worked out. It's cool though. It's really cool to see you because I'm wearing my owl, cat, pug
Nice.
T-shirt. Where are
Nice.
those available from, Larry? Do you know where can people get those from, Larry?
I was told that they're on TeePublic. Maybe somebody somewhere can put the link somewhere in the chat. Whoever has a wrench at some point.
I'm on a stream with a bunch of fucking shills. Great.
I don't get a penny. I don't get a penny. It all goes to Larry's hedge fund that he has.
Hey man, we're still waiting for those the dick pill people. So
dick pills, the mattresses,
mattress people.
Yes, yeah, Larry's sending his kids to college.
Looks like Spicy 4K's here. How's it going, good sir? Hey Marty, saying hi to everybody. Friday, Saturday
nice
to everyone. Well, yeah, technically, I guess it's Saturday for you all, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got so confused. I set up a stream with JT the other day, and I did it like a day earlier because it was 1 a.m. I'm like, oh, I'm too old for this. I can't do this. I was like, let's just call it off. This time zone thing. Yeah.
We don't need time zones. They're overrated.
Yeah. Oh man. Just keep adding and taking away hours.
Right. We got Ginger Ninja. Speaking of another person who's forward in time. Jason, how's it going, brother? Thanks for stopping by.
What's it like in the future? Yeah.
Right. Tell us. We must know.
Yeah. Tell me what to gamble on, Jay.
And here we go, Marty. Jen's here. So
right, forget everything I fucking said before we went live. Okay? Everything.
Oh man, that's good.
Too late. Too late, man.
We were already live, Marty. You just didn't realize it. Joseph the Horror Guy. Joseph, thanks for stopping by, good sir. Hey, dude. And we also got Professor. The professor's here. How you doing, good sir?
Hey, dude.
Greetings and salutations. Love it.
Everybody's saying hi. So, guys, as I said, this is just a sort of like in the house is, on break right now until Dawn is available again. He's got a lot of stuff going on right now. So nothing bad. Just he's in the process of moving. So he's good. Nobody worry. He will be back. I just wanted to kind of hang out. Yep. Busy boy for sure. I just wanted to hang out with everybody and get together. And I didn't know if I was going to do this solo or not. So since people are just starting to come in, I figured why not invite a couple people and see if they were available. And sure enough, one part of 3BB is here, Mr. Pugwall. And and our dude Marty, the still horror YouTuber of the month. So
yeah,
I got that for what, a few more days, Marty?
I'm totting up. I meant to ask. There might be a tie. There might be a tie between two people. I might need to consult you on how to fucking resolve that. But
Larry's the expert on that for sure.
But yeah, no.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like it was one of those things where was it the one with Matt for Entertainer? It was Matt, and it was like a 3-way tie for the longest time. And I was just like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. And then at the very end,
my bots. I just got some bots. I just paid for some bots, and
There you go.
just
For
did
fuck's
easy.
sake, Matt, you don't say that on the
Oh shit!
stream.
Yeah, so
Well,
I like
he's
the fact
already
that
he's
it
already come and gone. He's already come and
The
gone.
fucking
So
Russians are going to be pissed with you, man.
they can't
and
take it away from him now.
And when Larry was like, I was looking for some people, I was like, yeah, we classify as people. We're people.
Oh man.
That's the bare minimum for being on a live stream, isn't it? Being a human being.
It's like we'll see some bots pop up here shortly.
Yeah.
So you're just saying he's listening while he's getting them gains. Yeah, that's why I was running late. I was telling Marty and Matt. I was like, man, I was running late. I was actually at the gym right before I jumped on. So it was just like I was looking at the time. I was like, oh man, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And yeah, I was trying to rearrange stuff and get here right on time because it just kind of got away from me.
Nice. We'll get those beard gains. We need to grow our beards so we can be like JK and yeah, work on our beard gains.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that is an epic face fuzz right there.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's looking pretty dapper. Or I could work on my stomach gains. I'm doing that all the time, constantly. So you know, it's going well. It's going pretty well.
Jen says there's nothing wrong with a good
For
three-way.
fuck's sake, Jesus Christ, babe. Don't be telling people our fucking anniversary plans, okay?
Has anyone seen Twisters? Have you guys seen Twisters?
Yes.
I know Marty has, and he has a good review on it too. So if y'all haven't checked it out yet, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I have seen that actually. Yeah, I have seen that review.
It's fun. It's surprisingly fun, and like, you know, it fucking the thing is, the director actually shot the movie rather than digital. He shot it in 35mm. As a result, the effects are a lot easier to hide, and it kind of lends to itself the kind of more grainy filter. Whereas actually this is something I meant to ask you. Have any of you started watching 4K movies yet? Movies in 4K yet?
The odd one, but not. I'm not like a collector by any stretch. No.
I've seen a few. I've seen the ones that I have. I have The Fog in 4K. I have Halloween, the 78 Halloween in 4K. Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, and Dawn of the Dead.
They're perfect. Actually, Larry, they're perfect examples. Do you find the 4K might actually not be beneficial for older movies? Certain things like visual effects and kind of camera techniques and stuff in order to hide that, or certain kind of like set designs, you kind of see more aspects of a set rather than an actual scene in a movie. Do you think 4K pulls the magician's fucking cape back a bit too much when it comes to movies? Definitely with older stuff.
Well, so here's a perfect example. So I did pick up a few years back. I picked up the Universal Monsters on Blu-ray. So for me, seeing it on Blu-ray, they did a great restoration, but I can understand what you're seeing, or what you're saying is that it does kind of like you see all the little extra, I guess the mess ups and stuff, like that little sheet on the lamp.
Yeah,
is like more, you can see it more, you know what I mean? But I mean, if you kind of take that out of your mind, everything looks gorgeous. Like, I don't know if y'all seen that Blu-ray restoration that they did for at least for Dracula. Just, man, it looks beautiful. And forget about it, Creature from the Black Lagoon looks amazing. It looks like if it was something that was just done, like not too long ago, in black and white.
There's some that lend themselves. I mean, I'm definitely not on the sort of up-to-date bandwagon when it comes to things like 4K and things like that. I might have bought a few things to watch on the TV just because it is a 4K TV, from like a store, so not like a physical one. But the thing I noticed was when I started buying Blu-rays, and I got I always forget the full title, the Outlaw Jesse James, The Killing by the Coward Robert Ford.
Brad Pitt's Jesse James movie. Yeah.
That was the first movie that I saw on Blu-ray there. I was like, I could really see the benefit of it, but I guess because it was just such incredible cinematography. But like I can't remember watching a film in recent years where it's had that impact on me where I've gone, oh wow, like I can really see something out of the ordinary, or it feels special to see it. So I guess in a way, I'm kind of jumping around between Blu-ray, DVD, the odd 4K thing, sometimes VHS, and I'm barely noticing.
Yeah.
It's very very rare that something hits me. But you're right about Creature from the Black Lagoon, Larry. When I saw that on the restoration, I was like, oh, that looks so crisp and beautiful.
Yeah, I
Like
was very surprised by that.
like Larry, my worry is because again, two movies I love, Alien and Jurassic Park. In Blu-ray, in the Blu-ray editions, you can see the guy in the hallway in the Nostromo with the cardboard fanning the smoke, and then in Jurassic Park, you can see the scene where the Dilophosaurus kills Wayne Knight, Dennis Nedry's character, and you can see the strings pulling the frill back, and you kind of have to you can spot them, but they're not too evident. My worry is once stuff goes to 4K, that stuff will fucking pop out like a fucking pimple. That's my kind of worry with it, you know.
Yeah, I do see what you mean. I mean, I looked at the great example is the Commando, um, the Commando one where he's holding up the leg, and you can see
Yeah,
that clearly see the string a lot more in the newer, like in the Blu-ray version. I
yeah,
mean, you it's a lot more like it sticks out like hardcore.
Maybe
So
maybe the big thing will be like 2000 CG standing out more when it gets like it'll kind of look more blocky and
yeah,
pixelated. I've already noticed that in a few films I've been watching recently, like because that's my big blind spot is kind of 2000s horror, which I would call modern horror, and like some of the final scenes, the sort of climax where they've gone straight to CG, and it's like watching Doom or something like that. It's like watching Duke Nukem, like or PlayStation 2 sort of level stuff, and you're
yeah.
like, oh, that's really jarring. It's really jarring, more so than like if I see something practical showing up, if that makes sense. Like I can kind of make allowances for that more than I can for really awful CG. So yeah.
Like my other worry would be as well, like going on what Mark's saying there, CG fucking blood. I mean, it didn't look good back in the day, and it certainly won't fucking look good once it comes to 4K
Mm,
and stuff, like, you know.
yeah,
yeah.
like was it I would imagine Pan's Labyrinth might look, that CG blood might look like ridiculously crazy for the age of the
Yeah,
film, and then for it to go to 4K. I
Yeah.
can probably see that being an issue.
yeah,
I was a bit surprised with Alien. I watched Alien Resurrection again yesterday, and I was a bit surprised because, like, the ideas are great, and obviously it's a really great visual director. Well, I'm not even sure the ideas are great, but it's definitely a very good visual director. But some of the CG near the end, I was like, "Oh, this isn't as good as I thought it
no.
was."
The
Um,
the scene where the aliens are underwater, it's okay because you have that extra
mm,
added element. But once it jumps up
yes,
on the fucking the walkway and stuff and goes after our main characters, I'm like, Jesus, this fucking looks crap. This looks really
yeah.
shitty.
Oh yeah, the climbing up and the bit where she falls into the sort of pit of um,
It-
aliens, and
mm,
it looks a bit, yeah, it looks a bit like computer gamey.
Yeah, well, even like that's what I felt with the Blu-ray, because I have that quadrilogy on Blu-ray. Like when I watch Resurrection, even there, because I saw it in the theater when it came out, so
Yeah,
I know the difference. I could tell especially when you see that alien about to pop out of the water,
yeah,
to get on I
mm.
mean, and then even the gunfire when it's like going in between, like it's like dodging it. It
Yeah,
looks really,
yeah, and
really
it
like,
shoots him down. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it looks really, really dodgy. So yeah, I mean, 4K. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. I mean, I also to kind of I have I know I've mentioned this before. I have that DVD Laserdisc transfer of Empire Strikes Back. So seeing it on DVD without any sort of restoration or anything, you see all the like the little mess up.
Imperfections.
Yeah, the imperfections. But you know what? It doesn't bother me when I watch it.
Yeah,
It
I
just
like the despecialized editions though of the Star Wars.
yeah,
So
I think that's why I'm so like, I'm so okay with it, seeing the imperfections, because I know there hasn't been any alterations to it. It's just a transfer,
yeah.
straight
It's
transfer
better
from
than
like
sort of seeing Jabba's little feet moving around, isn't it, and things like that. It feels like where you just go, oh, whoa, don't do that.
or the quick like
The hand fucking
Yeah.
solo. Jesus
yeah
Christ. It looks like when you crop something, and if you cut around it and just crop it and move it to the side, it's not even
yeah
like a natural movement. It's just like whoa.
Yeah.
yeah that's nuts, man. No, looks like Mr. Den's here. I hope that answers your question.
Hey, Mr.
No, it did. It did. It did. It's a double-edged sword. I think with modern movies, it's going to reap the benefits, but with older stuff, it's going to kind of, as I said, the universal transfers will look beautiful, but I think stuff that was made in the arse end of the 90s and early 2000s, it's
Yeah,
gonna date it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
even seeing Fifth Element a little bit, the cars and stuff like that, the CG parts and that a little bit, but it's not as bad as like some other stuff that I can imagine being like really jarring.
Yeah.
A little sheet on the lap. Thing is, very true, very true. It's hard to miss that piece of, I guess, cardboard or something on the lap, the
What
lamp in
was
Dracula.
I know AVGN done an explanation video for it, but what the fuck was that cardboard for?
I'm guessing it's to like to diffuse the lighting, maybe dim the
Okay.
lights, sort of. I'm not too sure. I mean, because I want to say, didn't he say that wasn't in the? It's been a while since I've seen the
Spanish.
the Spanish version.
Yeah, it
I can't
wasn't in
remember
the
if it's
Spanish version.
yeah. So there you
And
go.
they
Like
used the same did they use the same sets, Larry? Or did they use the
yes,
same props? Yeah.
yeah. They
So
use
it's
the
like the
same.
Spanish
It
are
was
like, what the
basically
fuck is this thing for?
yeah. They're probably like that's why it ended up on a different lamp every time. But no, yeah, it's like you can clearly see all that stuff. It's nowadays it's like crazy. Just Brad Pitt is a good actor. For the most part, I think. I'm trying to think of what was his what is his best movie? Do y'all think?
I'm a mark for a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I know that there'll be people. There's other films, I'm sure, that where he's actually, had bigger performances or better performances. But I don't know. I
I
can't think of one
like
off the
him in
top of my head.
Snatch. I love him in Snatch.
Yeah, he's great in Snatch.
Yeah.
What do you think of that accent?
Do you know what? If he was playing a regular Irish person, I'd give him a bollocking, but he's playing an Irish gypsy, and some of them have fucking finicky accents, and he was able to work the fact that you can't tell what they're fucking saying half the
Yeah,
time
it's true.
into
He's got a bit
covering
of
his own
leeway there,
accent.
hasn't he? Yeah, knowing the sort of traveller sites that I used to live near, and some of the accents were wild.
Oh
So like
Jesus,
you can get away with it. Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about it like that before. But to be honest, some of the Cockney accents are more offensive than
Oh Jesus, I can imagine.
like Guy Ritchie's accent's more offensive because he's a completely he's almost landed gentry, yet he talks like he's a little barra boy, doesn't he?
Yeah, Matt, isn't he like a toff? And he
Oh
came
yeah,
to
for sure.
come from the fucking rougher parts. No, he's a fucking
Oh,
absolute toff, right?
Yeah, and it's the funny thing. I don't know if you remember Adam and Joe, the Adam and Joe show. They used to do like toy versions of films, and they used to call his Guy Rich toy, and he'd be like changing his accent back and forth depending on who he was directing. It was hilarious, but yeah, I'm not a massive fan. I know that I've got friends who absolutely love everything that he's done and The Gentleman and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I enjoyed watching Lock, Stock at the cinema. I enjoyed watching Snatch, and then I was kind of like, okay, I think this is it. I think we're done. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm being fair there. I don't know.
So you don't like Rock and Roller?
All right.
Really? I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But
I like Toby Kebbell. I think he's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'm that interested in watching any Guy Ritchie movies. But I don't know.
But Matt, how could you not like the magnum opus that is King Arthur?
I forgot. Oh yeah, I thought
It's
that was
not David Beckham.
Oh my word! Yeah, I
Hey,
mean,
Russell, how's it going?
I think I prefer In the Name of the King. It's got more potatoes in it. So.
Oh man, that's a good. I guess that's a good question, right? What's his worst movie? Which I guess after his Madonna film, kind of
That's
went
probably
downhill.
yeah. I've not seen that, but it looks like just.
I heard it was really bad
Bit of a vanity project
for his wife, right? Or his ex-wife now.
That's right. Have you seen that clip of where she's coming out of a hotel and she's at the front and she's got this massive dildo in a bag and you can see it's like a see-through bag, and then you've got Guy Ritchie behind her and he's looking traumatized.
Oh wow, no, I haven't.
It's worth googling for that picture because it just makes me laugh. Right? And then I think it's like a couple of months later they split.
That makes sense.
Too much for him.
And then he went off and did Aladdin after that. Yeah. Which I'm still baffled that he did that.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, it's like when but that's the thing. Like when I actually saw it come up, I was like, wait, he did this, but I didn't even know he did it until like I think it was like the opening credits. I was like, wait, Guy Ritchie did this, and I was like, man, this is horrible.
And then you get the kind of the offshoots of that as well. So like even now, the sort of like rubbishy gangster films are being churned out with one American star and a load of like jobbing Londoners, and then you've got like the Matthew Vaughn kind of ones going off in that direction as well. So in a way, he's got quite a lot to answer for.
Gentlemen, give me 1 second. Everybody, I might have something going on, so I'll be right back.
Okay, man, no problem. Right now, let's really get into the Larry. No, I'm joking.
No, you're right, dude. The fucking churn out of subpar fucking London gangster movies, and like there's the tier levels. There's the Guy Ritchie, Matthew Vaughn, and then there's the shit that Tamer Hussain and Danny Dyer star in.
Oh man, and then crossover with football hooligan ones.
Yeah, football factory or Rise of the Foot Soldier or some fucking horse shit like that.
Oh my word! And there's ones below that. I was talking to somebody the other day, and she was saying about she was in one where I think it's like Eric Roberts is the American they brought in, and then the rest of them are like just kind of UK people, and you have that person for like half a day. And you get as much out of them, and then you sell it on, the front cover of them all there. And I don't know who's buying it or watching or how people are even getting hold of those films.
There's it's probably sliced down between people who don't know fucking movies. Maybe some studios just buying it up for a bulk, and then half of them. Yeah. If you look at some of the dross that's on Netflix now, man, like
true. I was wondering if it's like a tax thing. Like, do you know there's a couple of films with like British TV people in it that they made and had no intention of releasing it, and it was just like a tax
break.
I'm sure they made one with the guy from Only Fools and Horses, where he went off to like Romania or something, and I was just like, what have they made this for? And it's obviously just some way of creating.
It sounds like some Bruce Campbell fucking shit, but it's like we got Del Boy instead of Bruce Campbell. Fucking
yeah. Oh my word! I don't know. It might have been Boise.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I would have loved to see a movie with fucking Del Boy fighting mummies or some fucking.
Yeah, or if he was like a proper gangster, he was like a kind of Michael Corleone kind of character, but it was Del Boy. That would be awesome.
Oh fuck!
There's a lot of actors though, isn't there, of that age who didn't get to like not Michael McShane. Ian McShane went over to America and got to really flex his muscles in Deadwood and do some really cool stuff and some funny stuff. There's people who are like really respected actors in the UK who never really went and did anything.
like you had David Jason going over. His fucking career didn't take off. Rick Mayall's fucking career went down like a fucking plane, man. Like, and
it's crazy. Like,
you would have thought they would have been fucking successful. Like,
oh, well, do you remember Lenny Henry? They did a Lenny Henry like Eddie Murphy style comedy, something like Secret Identity or something like that, something Identity. And they put a lot of money behind it. It might have even been Warner Brothers, and it was like they gave him one shot, nobody watched it, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're done. But he was like, "Oh, this is going to be the British Eddie Murphy." I'm surprised they didn't try it with like Richard Blackwood, like put him in like a rip off of Beverly Hills Cop or something.
Richard Blackwood, Beverly Hills.
Remember, because he was literally like, "Oh, I'm the British Eddie
British fucking Eddie Murphy." Yeah.
Oh my word. Oh, we've had some horrendous, like, this is the British this, or this is the. We've had some bad ones. Certainly mid 2000s. It's weird, really, because everything. It's not like there's a big gap now between when films come out and things like that, and we have so many British actors and Irish actors go over to America and do that. We don't necessarily need to be creating like our own version of something.
Yeah, homegrown stuff. Like, it is kind of funny when you watch something like Billionaires or fucking Homeland with Damian Lewis, who's playing an American character. That's like so many fucking British actors, like The Walking Dead, Andrew Lincoln.
Like watching him in This Life and then seeing him being like Rick Grimes or like is mad. And see, like, you see Damian Lewis, good example, like incredible in Band of Brothers. Just like it's almost never discussed now, but that breakout performance, like Richard Winters in Band of Brothers, and is incredible. And I think because it was a mini series rather than a film, it doesn't get mentioned in quality war related stuff like it should. Because for me, and this is probably a controversial one, I prefer Band of Brothers to Saving Private Ryan. I think it's better. But
yeah, no, it's long more form and kind of at the end of the day, Saving Private Ryan has the trope of the men on the mission thing, you know, like Dirty Dozen, where they go off and there's only one or two guys left at the end. Actually, Matt, Professor Macabro has a question here. Is there any European stereotype you'd wish modern movies would get over?
Oh my word! Well, I bet there's more Irish ones.
Fucking.
Yeah.
I know. Well, look, I would like to, if they were like, you know, fucking Irish people appearing in American movies, like not us having us as pissheads the whole time, or like fucking, you know.
Oh well, like even there was something earlier on. I think it was the Olympic opening ceremony, and there's a guy waving the Irish flag and trying to get high fives as they were walking past with a thing. And like, I'm sure the guy made a joke about him being drunk, and I was just like, you wouldn't say that about anybody else. You wouldn't be like, oh, there's the Algerians pissed again.
Fucking Jesus Christ!
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so weird.
What about English? Any English stereotypes that like?
I think I don't mind them, but like, I think working class accents being completely off. Like Daphne and Frasier, for example, like nobody sounds like her, and they could have just let her speak in a normal accent. Or like English people are always kind of highly educated. I mean, look at Nicholas Lyndhurst in the new Frasier. Like, he's suddenly a professor, and like there's not really any normal British people. But since moving, this is a strange one. Since moving up to Cumbria, I've noticed that you don't hear any Cumbrian accents on television. You never hear any of them. Like from sort of Lancaster upwards, you basically, you've got Scotland, and like Greater Manchester is kind of the north, because of BBC being based in Salford. One thing I've noticed, like, since living around here, is like, I'm like, oh, this is an accent I don't hear in films or television or anything. So they're kind of neglected because it's so far out of the way. So I guess maybe a bit more of a understanding of regions, but I guess that's every country, and everybody thinks that. I'm sure there's people in America going, or Mexico, or what Mexico probably like is of such a stereotypical. If you're like, is there ever a Mexican character in a film that isn't just like full of stereotypes? You don't actually get to understand a well-rounded character. It's just like a way of speaking or a way of acting, and I must be frustrated. I guess it's the same for everyone. We all lean into it to certain degrees,
Oh yeah,
don't we?
yeah.
You know, because we enjoy. We sort of, we can laugh at ourselves, but also it's familiarity. So, for example, like Father Ted, for example, is like, you know, there's lots of stereotypes in there, but it's just
There is
hilarious.
the accents, like the accents and stuff, and just the real kind of the dumb Irish lad and the fucking.
I mean, the more offensive is Mrs. Brown's Boys is the most offensive thing.
That's fucking balls, man. That's basically
because that's lazy.
I guarantee you, fucking Brendan O'Connor Brendan O'Carroll was watching fucking Medea. It's fucking Ireland's answer to Medea. That's what
he's
all
in,
it
he's
is.
in those films. He's in.
Yeah, he's crossed over. They've done a crossover. I'm like, fucking hell.
The film of that, someone was doing a video on it. I've not seen it, but the film of Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie, or whatever it's called, Mrs. Brown's Boys, da movie. He's talking to the camera, but not in a like clever, funny way, but in a like, well, let's just leave this shit in. We won't bother editing this or cutting this. We need to get it. We need to get it to an hour and a half, and it's just, it's from the bits I've seen of it is embarrassing. But it's embarrassing culturally as well as the fact it's just not funny.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Father Ted is clever and funny, and to a certain degree, some of the things are well observed or heightened and smart. Whereas Mrs. Brown's Boys just feels like the laziest shit you could possibly put on television, and people eat it up. Absolutely eat it up.
Graham Linehan, I wouldn't agree with a lot of his politics. I'm not going to even go there.
Yeah,
but
no,
the dude
same, me too.
The dude's good at writing self-aware characters and self-aware situations and heightened situations. Like, again, Father Ted was brilliant. The IT Crowd, I fucking love the IT Crowd.
Oh, the gay musical episode is probably my favorite. But then the football one, where the football fans episode, I'll go back to that. You know, like the problem with Arsenal is they want to walk it into the
goal. Is it Moz reading How to Be a Football Fan for Dummies?
Yeah. Like so many of my friends, because I'm like the only one out of like guys that I'm close friends with who's into football, they just reference that all the time to kind of shut me down. The Underground Countdown episode,
that was brilliant.
There's so many. It is, and I think maybe Linehan and Matthews together is the best, but like that's why it's a bit patchier when he does other things, but when the IT Crowd works, it's perfect.
Oh yeah,
it's so good in places. Yeah.
What was it? Fucking Renham was on trial for sexual harassment. He goes, Jesus, Douglas, you were able to make that sweater and prepare for the trial. Oh shit, the trial's today.
It's the perfect level of like accessible and surreal. And yeah, it's cracking. There's few comedies that I'll go out of my way to revisit, and IT Crowd, some of those episodes. And the other one I'll go back and watch quite a lot is Friday Night Dinners.
I haven't seen that. I
highly recommend it. Highly recommend. Robert Popper, who did Look Around You, and which were just, and his book, The Time Waster Letters, is really good as well. But yeah, the Look Around You, Tomorrow's World spoof, and that they did, or the education TV stuff is great. But Friday Night Dinners is right up there as one that I would say that will age well. Where something like, say, The Inbetweeners, that was mega popular, I think gets less funny the more you watch it.
Yeah, the thing is the Inbetweeners and stuff. It definitely kind of requires like you to enjoy a lot more crude and fucking kind of lower tier humor. Should we be calling out people who are coming into the chat? Actually,
I just realised because I'm on my phone, so I'm a bit all over the place. So
no, you're good. Also, hello to Jamie, Lamona, Russell, Alucard. Who else have we? I don't think anyone else new came in, but
I think
just
you're
to be on the safe side.
Russell's here. Have we said Russell? Yeah.
But Matt, what do you think of Peep Show?
So I watched a couple of series of that. People love it, don't they? People absolutely love it. And some of it I think I've seen is great. I think I bashed through it in quite a short period of time. I'm maybe not the biggest fan of it, but the guys who wrote that have gone on to do incredible things, haven't they? The Succession, is that right?
I think some of them are working on Succession, but I just love Mitchell and Webb anyway. I love Mitchell and Webb's old sketch series where it's
like the sketch shows.
There's a James Bond thing where James Bond, you think he's going into a casino, but it's all got like carnival fucking games. Guess the weight of the pound cake. And my favorite one though is where they're playing the Nazis and Mitchell goes, Are we the baddies, Hans? No, why?
Yeah, that's really, some of them were really well observed, like the again the football one, some of the snooker stuff they did. Like they're very good at kind of noticing popular things that people are into and then noticing the absurdity in it.
Yeah.
Which is really, like, obviously they're smart guys, but to be smart and funny, they're a little bit, I guess, like Fry and Laurie used to be, where the hit ratio isn't amazing, but when they really hit, they're hilarious.
They get a bullseye, yeah.
It's funny because I don't know if you ever watched the Peter Serafinovich show. He only had one series.
Oh yes, Toilet Grenade.
So good. Yeah. His stuff was amazing, and it just didn't take off. Whereas some of these other comedians and they seem to just absolutely get season after season of sketch comedy, whereas he did one and it was great. It was just absolutely brilliant. He obviously people in America might know him more as the voice of Darth Maul, which is wild. Some of the stories, if you Google the stories about his experiences with George Lucas and like having to beg
the Terrence Stamp story, that's fucking brilliant. Lamona, Larry just had to step away for a while. We're not 100% sure what he's probably got something set up for in the background, but hopefully we won't scare you off.
No, I know. We're literally only talking about like British and Irish TV.
No, good shit. Okay, it's like Larry's viewership just fucking hits the.
Let's talk about American things.
Matt, is there anything coming out actually that, or are you? Because it's the same over here, the cost of the cinema. Is there anything that might even kind of coax you into going to see it on the big screen that's going out?
Do you know what the issue is? I used to live in sort of Greater Manchester, and I had a cinema like 10 minutes away from me, and I'd have a card, and I'd go every month. Since moving here, it's like a good hour there and back, and so I'm a bit like, to be honest, the last film I saw at the cinema was The Last Scream, but so it's been a while. But I wouldn't mind seeing the new Alien film, but then I'm like that. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the Wolverine and Deadpool hype, I'm excited about it to a certain degree. But comic book movies, and I was literally like raised on comic books and love comic books. But I feel like it's a bit like national service now or something, or like a duty going to see a new comic book movie. It's like there's so I'm almost burnt out on it. If we go back to like when Superman came out, or like about the Christopher Reeve, or anything like that, like you were just like, this is for me. This is amazing. This is a comic book on screen. This is wild. This is just out of the realms of. And then now it's like every week something.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as special. It doesn't feel as
even up to the Avengers. Like I think Endgame, there maybe needed to be, and they're never going to do this because they're going to have to make money. But like an enforced break would have been great after the end of Endgame, just to kind of reset everyone and build up that excitement again. Because really, critically, you shoot yourself in the foot, but financially, you don't, because you just keep putting these movies out, and people will watch them and buy them and stream them, and it is what it is, and you move on to the next one. But when you get in Eternals and things like that, it's very hard to get excited about watching them.
Yeah, no, it's not only is it's a repeat of the same thing, but it's a repeat of subpar kind of fucking product. They're like, the company knows they don't have to put the effort in because they slapped the Marvel brand on it, and they're guaranteed. Actually, question. Yeah. So we don't feel the audience isn't left out. Also, hello to Mayan, who just came in as well.
Hey, May.
What was I going to say, guys? If there's one movie that got a one-off, for me, it's Dread with Karl Urban. What movie would you love to see get a sequel that has unfairly kind of been pushed to the back or push it? What about you, Matt? Is there any movie that you'd love to see getting a sequel that never got a chance to kind of flourish or shine?
That's really strange, because there's quite a few that have, and then I kind of wish they hadn't. Like I remember loving Zoolander, and then like Zoolander 2, and loving Anchorman, and then they did, Anchorman 2, and it's not like, so I don't know whether I'm really careful that not to wish for things, because I'm good. Like, for example, there's going to be Spinal Tap, isn't there? There's going to be a new Spinal Tap.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if can that be? It can't be as funny as the original, for one thing. That's impossible. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, that would. I do want to see it. I will watch it. Like, if I like something, I'm happy to watch more of the same. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, man. What about you? What's your kind of? I know you just said that. That's a really good one that you came up with. But to be honest, everything seems to have a sequel.
District 13. I'd love to see a follow up to District 13 as well.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool to have done that straight away, or relatively kind of build a little sort of Star Warsy.
Too much time has gone by now, though. I'd say you're right.
What a film that! And what a film! Yeah, what a film.
What about you guys in the chat as well? Is there any movies you'd like to see get a sequel that never really kind of flourished? And
Sean's here as well, so he'd be a good one to come up with that, because he's always got encyclopedic knowledge of film. Jen's review's still here, of course. Russell is here. Jamie's here. Wow, so many people. I've only literally just clicked on. I know you probably said this already. No Name Misfits is here. Austin's here. Wow, what a group.
Professor Macabro said a good one there, Matt. Attack the Block. I'd love to see a sequel to Attack the Block.
Well, I was talking about Adam and Joe earlier on, so obviously it's Joe Cornish directed that, and he did the Kid Who Would Be King, and he had something to do with Tintin, and he's not quite hit the. And what was the other one he did? He did the Netflix thing that it's like a kid detective thing, but yeah, he's not been able to, because it made John Boyega as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. It's strange. I guess I think the thing is with Joe Cornish, he's probably not the kind of person who's going to be making loads of sequels, but that would be a good one, wouldn't it?
That'd be good. Mr. Dan and Horror says Chronicle. Yeah, I like the first Chronicle. It's not going to be made by Josh Trank. Josh Trank fucking destroyed his career.
Yeah, he just basically just imploded, didn't he? Because of
fan forcing.
And he was in over his head as well. He was just totally in over his head, and that's okay to be in over your head. But the thing is, it's a bit like it's like gambling, I guess, or something. It's somebody giving you a line of credit, so you go right back down. And the problem is with him, he was chasing the
the tennis, Matt. Didn't he go from Chronicle to that? There was no progression. Chronicle was a fantastic looking movie, but it was an indie flick. It was a semi-indie flick, and he went from that to a Marvel property. And I can understand the studio's kind of mindset, but there has to be progression, like,
Well, this is it. And even if you are somebody who is successful in everything you do, like is it Chazelle? And who's did Amsterdam? Is it Amsterdam or last one? And it was like a massive flop. He had enough in the bank but even then, he has to start lower again and then work his way back up. That's just the way it is. But I think if you then have like a hissy fit and go crazy online and start you don't take your medicine, then there's not a lot of a way back. And I think that's kind of what happened with Josh Trank. I think he just kind of he was just paddling as hard as he could and throwing stuff out online. And I guess that's kind of because he wasn't mature enough and ready enough to make a film at that level. And I actually don't mind about 3/4 of that film, but I don't know how much of that is his.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know the studio came in and fucking took over at the 11th hour with that one. You can fucking see it.
Yeah, you can see the moment almost in the thing. And like the frustrating thing is when studios do take over things like they tend to just give you the standard ending to the film, the safe ending. And you start thinking, oh, I wonder what would have happened if somebody had a bit of creativity and a bit of leeway to do something different. And it's really weird. The other weird thing is as well is how people say like Marvel will get a really cool creative indie director and then have them make a Marvel film that's exactly the same as the other Marvel film.
Yeah, no. Nina Costa, she done the last Candyman kind of sequel, revival, whatever the fuck, and then they got her to do Captain Marvel. I didn't think Marvels. I didn't think it was too bad.
No,
but
I really like Ms. Marvel. Yeah, I think she's.
It was so far fucking removed from what she had done. She had done a horror movie, and I'm not saying horror directors can't fucking do big sci-fi movies, but it seems very fucking far removed out of her wheelhouse. And that's not no commentary on her gender or anything. Fucking there's no. Catherine Bigelow, fucking amazing director. Cody Diablo, amazing director. I just think the progression of one genre to the next was kind of just jarring, I think, for her.
I think you're spot on. In fact, that kind of ties in with what Professor Macabro is saying there. He said it actually better than I think I could. He says studios eat up indie directors before they can fine-tune their craft. I feel they are easier to influence and control by the executives, which really hurts indie directors. So yeah, I'm totally
Alien 3.
Yeah.
We need a guest 2. That's what we need.
The guest 2, yeah.
The Void 2.
That would be good.
I love The Void. The Void needs a sequel. The Guest, if someone asks me, if I'm recommending The Guest to someone and they're like, oh, what's it like? It's like, what if Captain America was Michael Myers? That's how I pitched the fucking Guest to someone.
Yeah, John Carpenter was the director. Or doing the music at least. Yeah. It's I love Dan Stevens, and after that I was like, oh, I want this guy as Bond. Like I want this guy as Bond. But now I've changed my mind after seeing, is it Monkey Man? I want Dev Patel as James Bond.
Dave Patel would be he'd be awesome to have as Bond, but you just know the mentality did never let.
Not Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't want Aaron Taylor Johnson as James Bond. Oh,
they're fucking shitting biscuits because Taylor Johnson is going to be Kraven the Hunter, and I think because they held back on fucking doing shoots because they want to see how he performs in Kraven the Hunter. And
okay, right, yeah. Because the last thing I saw him in was that Bullet Train, and I know a lot of people liked it, but for me it was like, and I don't like slagging movies off, but I sat there and I don't hate many films, but I hated Bullet Train. I thought it was like just having some incredible actors like Brian Tyree Henry doing like naff Cockney accents talking about fucking Thomas the Tank Engine, sort of sub Tarantino rubbish, and there's so many great films with people working their way through trains and kicking ass, and that's not one of them. But I know people loved it, and I probably spoke to loads of people online, and most people say they love it. I just could not get into that film. But Aaron Taylor Johnson in that film, I was thinking, oh no, this guy's gonna be Bond. He's wearing a suit.
It's the thing is though, it's like I'd say if whoever MGM or whoever's fucking in charge of Bond now, they're going to keep their eyes on Kraven the Hunter. And if it's anything like Morbius or Madam Web.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Jamie says, and sorry I was gone, guys. Had a bit of an emergency, so but I'm back.
That's
Is
all right, man.
everything okay though, dude?
Yeah, I can take care of the rest tomorrow, so we should be good for now.
Okay.
Oh man.
But
Okay.
yeah, sorry I missed everybody. Say hi to
No
everybody
need
that
to
was here.
apologize, Larry. It's all right. We were literally getting rid of your audience by only talking about very niche British and Irish.
Yeah. It's like Father Ted. What the fuck is that?
No, man. I mean, I was. That's why I was like listening in while I was doing what I was doing.
Larry's like, these fuckers are gonna kill my channel.
I don't know. I was like, I was going to talk to Marty all about my Irish lineage, all the different parts of Ireland I've been to.
No, so just to say hi to everybody, Jamie. I didn't get to say hi to you earlier. Looks like Corey's here. How's it going, Corey? Mayanne is here. P. Rich, I saw P. Rich here as well. A lot of great stuff while I was out. Same with Mr. Den. Yeah, saying Into the Void was vague. So yeah, I wish that they would have not shown them in the world. Does that make sense?
That's actually a throwback to Not From Beyond, De Beyond, which was an Italian splatter flick. Basically the movie ends with fucking the two characters going into Lovecraftian kind of hellscape, and it's an obvious nod to that.
The only reason why I don't like it, I liked it, but I don't like it. It looked too CG. Which, I mean, for an indie film, it's kind of like, I understand that, but I wish they would have just left it more like what could happen since they left. Since you actually see them go into I wish they would have kind of given us a little bit more of a vague, you know what I mean? Like just showing the Knives Chow and the other guy surviving, and just kind of like leave you wondering. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or like the ending of do you remember the ending of The Cube, Larry, with the last guy escaping and it's just a light?
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool too. Like something like that. You know what I mean? That's my
endings. Yeah, endings are tough though, aren't they? Like I had to watch for a podcast the other day. I've never seen it before. It dragged me to hell, and like the CG train track sort of stuff right at the end. Like there's bits there. If you maybe try to do something practically, God knows how, without running somebody over with a train, where it could have been absolutely amazing, but the CG side of it was a bit ropey.
You're right, Matt. It wasn't fucking great, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. Has there ever been a fucking ending that absolutely the movie has been fucking slick sailing right up until the ending, and then you're like, what the fuck is this?
Like a stop suddenly and everybody boos. Do you know what? I've only ever seen like a really negative reaction to the end of a film. The only time I've seen this, and I'm not sure if I agree with it. I'm not like a super fan, but when I went to the cinema to see Blair Witch Project, and people booed at the end, and like absolutely were fucking losing their minds. That shocked me. Like I'd never had that experience, and I know in the US it's different depending on where you go and what cinemas you go to. Like some people think that cinema is like a two-way thing, like they're talking to the screen. But yeah, I'd struggle with that, to be honest. But yeah, that ending for some reason just really upset people. But me personally, I don't know. I'm not sure I can think of any off the top of my head. I don't know.
I would say Last Jedi.
Yeah, well, you
the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, not just the ending though.
Yeah. No.
Well, fucking Rise of Skywalker. Somehow Palpatine is back. Are you fucking shitting me? Are you serious?
If she'd have just said, it'd be worse thing if it should just gone Rey Skywalker, and then it literally just went hard cut, boom, end. That would have people would have been. I don't know. Some people would have been very upset with it.
Oh man.
No. Who was it who just said then about Bond, about Hiddleston, about Tom Hiddleston? Then that will be around the time of The Night Manager, where he was almost doing a screen test for James Bond, which he was good in. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. I don't know how I feel about Hiddleston being Bond. I feel like he's kind of a little too lanky to be Bond.
You know,
I
he
don't.
auditioned for Thor, right? You actually,
Did
you
he?
know, he auditioned. Yeah, you can check it out.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I've seen that. That's
But
funny.
again, I can't see. I wouldn't be able to see him as Thor.
Oh, it's great when they have the you know, they have
I mean,
the
he would have had
parts
to
in
like really bulk up, in my opinion.
well, I was just thinking of like, you know, when they had like Matt Damon and other actors playing them, acting
Yeah.
in the film. I love those sort of things. I thought those were hilarious. Like, but
Yeah.
that would kind of somebody of like you say, somebody of his stature doing Thor would be maybe unintentionally comedic, and they've obviously seen like a more insidious, sneaky kind of side to him. But then in the Night Manager, he's pretty much a straight up hero, Bond style hero, and he works.
The other thing as well, Matt. The other thing as well, Matt. If you wanted to go back to something more faithful to Fleming or even fucking Timothy Dalton's run, Bond was a cold-blooded bastard and a vicious bastard in some of those.
That's why I love Dalton's my favorite. Timothy Dalton's my favorite. I love Living Daylights, but and interesting this week, George Lazenby's retired from like any public appearances and acting and stuff. But on Her Majesty's Secret Service is one of my favorites. You know, and that's a lot darker than a lot of the other Bonds, and like more emotional and packs a bit of a punch. But like you say, Dalton's the one I think people would say is closest to Ian Fleming's Bond. Yeah. Maybe Sean Connery in real life.
Oh, have you seen that interview? That is so fucking cringe. It's like, is it true you like hit a woman? Well, I didn't hit her. I slapped her. It's like there's different.
Yeah.
You use the back of the hand. What are you saying, Connery?
Oh man.
Oh, I would. And it's with his granddaughter, who pretty much cared for him for the last period of his life, is the sort of caretaker of the Connery estate, and she basically pumps all the money that they make into like I think she lives in America somewhere, like aquatic life and like kind of saving creatures and coral and all that kind of stuff. Couldn't be any more. Like, I can't imagine that he would give a flying fuck about himself. But yeah, it's just, and to hear her talk, and like she's the main. But they apparently have this really lovely sort of relationship. She was like his caregiver while he was going on. But yeah, the guy's misogynistic past is pretty wild, isn't it?
Russell, that's another movie. You hit the nail on the head. I need to know what happens to Collector in the third part.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Man, there's a lot of good stuff that should have gotten a sequel. Professor says the last Skywalker he'd watch twice rather than the both Dune movies. I don't know about that, man. Lay says preach as to what I said about Last Jedi. It was crapola, definitely crapola. I was looking to get over this, man. I can hear it. I can hear it in what's his name's voice, man. Connery's voice. Connery's voice. Sorry, I don't want
to pushy.
I don't want to offend anybody by saying Connery's voice.
Well, I was just watching Moonraker with Roger Moore earlier on, and watching the scene, and some of Roger Moore ones I find like they do send me to sleep in certain parts, but the part where he's in the centrifuge and going round and round and round and round, and the guy's just cranking up the thing and smiling, that's a really good scene. But it doesn't allow him to, like, he recovers in about 3 seconds from like 370 G's,
His insides would be much.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, bloody hell,
I love how silly the fucking Roger Moore Bonds go. I love the scene with the speedboat and the pigeon doing a double take. You're like, what the fuck?
The same American guy popping up to like do double takes every time they were jumping over things. So good.
Oh,
I don't
man.
mind them. I don't mind Roger Moore films. Like I like, but the sillier the better. Let's go like full View to a Kill. Like that's entertaining, you know.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm more of a Dalton guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's. I mean, I guess it's messed up because I like Connery's Bond, but I think
No,
I
no,
like.
it's not.
Most
It's
people
not.
do, I think.
Like
Oh,
I'm not. There's no way you can defend what he did, but it was a mentality back in the fucking day.
yeah,
This
it's
was,
got nothing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with the movies. Like it's a thing where I think you do have to separate the art from the artist, because if you
yeah,
don't, there's so much shit out there that you would not enjoy if you
yeah, and
fucking like.
also like Bond does that in the books.
Yeah.
Bond's more misogynistic in the books, more violent,
Oh fuck
more
yes.
yeah. So like that just it opens up the fact that it's kind of just the way it is, and there's some separating art from the artist is hard, isn't it? If you feel like somebody lets you down, I think is the hardest part. If like I was a massive Ryan Adams fan,
Mhm.
and like he's maybe just guilty of being a shitty person rather than doing anything specifically horrendous. But I just kind of stopped. And it really surprised me because he was probably my favorite musician. And I used to go and watch gigs, some of my favorite gigs I've ever seen. And I don't know, I just stopped. And I don't know whether it's just I felt let down. Not that I know him, but you have these sort of parasocial relationships with certain artists or filmmakers or actors. And some people feel really upset about certain people more than others. I don't know. How you guys feel about it. Have you ever felt like there's somebody who, if they did something, you would feel really let down, like you hold them on a high pedestal? Do you have that person?
Um, going back to what we were talking about earlier on, Matt. Because I have friends who are like in the trans community and stuff. But Graham Lennon, again,
Yes.
I still can watch a kind of an episode of Father Ted and an episode of the IT Crowd, but
Yeah.
I won't say. I used to tell people, "Oh, check out the IT Crowd, check out Father Ted," but I don't do that anymore because I
Yeah.
don't want to give him exposure. Because
Well,
some of the
J.K. Rowling would be the one. J.K. Rowling would be
oh
right
yeah,
next to him, I guess, because
I
people. Yeah.
I was
Love
never a
him.
fan of J.K. Rowling because just the thing that annoys me is right, and yeah, she was a shitty person, but she was a shitty person before all that trans stuff came out because
Right.
in her books she was doing fucking racist kind of things about like, oh, how the goblins are like, she kind of done comparisons of like certain characters and races, like the goblins are Jews. That's the kind of thing. It's thinly veiled. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right, and I hadn't really thought about her because I don't know anything about Harry Potter. Like I know nothing, but I have friends who are massive Harry Potter fans. I've never read the books, but often I have to teach about J.K. Rowling because a lot of children that I work with really want to learn about those books. They love those books, and if that gets you into reading and that's your thing, then I don't want to kind of. So I do have to kind of separate the artist from the art in
From
that
the art,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's really strange because um, people maybe do feel a bit like betrayed because they grew up with it. So it's a bit different when you grow up with something. I guess it'd be a bit like, I don't know, maybe could George Lucas do anything? Like I don't really feel like I ever had like a love for George Lucas. I had a love for Star Wars. So like it's different. I think because people are like online all the time now. Creators are online all the time. We know everything about their lives and we see them all the time. Whereas like I just knew the name George Lucas from the end of the Star Wars movies. I probably wouldn't have even known what he looked like until I was much older.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I know people that won't listen to Michael Jackson's music anymore because of stuff.
Allegations.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
It's weird. Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
I I don't think you should ever criticize someone if they still want to listen to like a Jackson track
Yes.
or read fucking Harry Potter. That's grand. Each to their own.
Yes.
But I
Totally
do
agree.
think people should be informed and then fucking decide what they want to do. And I definitely don't think you should punish someone for being a Jackson fan or a Rowling fan. Again, the thing that annoyed me was that like people got outraged, but then it was like, well, how come you're only bringing this other shit up now? How come this shit wasn't brought up initially? It's like people pick and choose what they want to be outraged about. That's
Look at
another
James
fucking
Gunn.
thing. Yeah.
He got canceled.
Really,
he got fired. Now look, he's the head of DC.
Yeah, and the weird thing, I remember that when it was all happening, and this isn't a particular, it's just a weird moment because I was at a film festival and I've probably told this story before. I was with Lloyd Kaufman and I was talking with him and his wife and we were chatting away and I was talking about how James Gunn used to work for Troma. And he was saying, "Oh, it's terrible what's happened this weekend." And we kind of went on his phone and we were looking at all the different things. And like he was like, "Oh, I'm just going to ring him up. I'm just going to ring him up and we'll talk about it." And da da da. And I had a few to drink and he'd had a few to drink, and we were kind of just going to have a chat with James Gunn about it. Anyway, he didn't answer. But it was such a weird, because almost by the end of the weekend, people were coming around to the fact that these were like decades old.
Yeah.
This is somebody working for Troma, doing Troma-like OTT jokes with no foundation in reality, just ridiculousness. The genesis of Twitter, where you just wrote nonsense. And most people understood that. But it still took a long while for that tanker to turn around. And to be honest, it took the stars coming out and saying, we won't do it without him. That was the only thing that changed it. Otherwise, he would have stayed cancelled to this day if it wasn't for people like all of the people in Guardians of the Galaxy just going, we're all standing with him, which is quite sad, really, that you can't just go, yeah, people say and do stupid stuff all the time. But if they go, I'm sorry, it's a mistake. Here's the context. Context is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you want to do a kind of definitive comparison. You had Gunn, who said stupid shit back in a time when he worked for Trauma, and he was a younger man. We've all fucking done it. We've all but he acknowledged it and he apologized. Whereas you have fucking Rowling, who's digging her fucking feet in and just fucking doubling down on her beliefs. So that's that's the difference, like, you know.
And even then, it's interesting that they're still like Warner Brothers, and they're still doing stuff.
They'll still keep going, because the money's there.
Jeez, that fucking IP, dude. That is a license to print money.
Yeah. I mean, it's what Star Wars used to be.
Yeah, it is, and for that generation of kids, that's their thing, and it always will be as they grow up. It's insane how popular it is, and again, it's like, who am I to say, like, oh, you know, to value it differently just because I'm older and the things it's like now it's like we laugh and say, oh, this Star Wars bit is crap, and some of these Star Wars things are not for me. Like, they're just not for me. They're for other people to enjoy, and they enjoy them, and that's great. But it doesn't make me angry that they enjoy them. Like, like, I don't mind. Like, oh, it was a kid's film when I started watching it, and I was a kid, so like, I was the perfect audience, and there wasn't a lot to watch, and I loved it, and I still love it. But there's some things I'll watch, and like we said before, when Marty was talking about, you know, things going on longer than they need to. It's like, well, yeah, it's true. I think we're all in agreement that sometimes we just go that they need to stop making these, but they're never going to if the money's there, are they? So for some kid, that's their favorite movie.
No, I mean, that's why, like, I always make the joke that I make the joke that, like, I don't hate on people if they like or love Last Jedi. That's fine. I mean, you're wrong, but I mean, to each their own. You know what I mean?
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, like, it's just one of those things where, like, it's like you said, actually, it's kind of opposite of what you said, Matt, because you said that movie's not made for us. Well, they flat out said they want to subvert the expectations of the fans. Who are the real fans?
Yeah, no, like, that's the weird thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like when we get mixed up between like fan servicey stuff and then getting upset when the fan service thing is too much like the thing we liked in the first place, so we're not going to like it. But then if it's not fan servicey enough, we'll be like, what's this shit? It's brand new and different.
My friend put it the best. The people who hate Star Wars the most are the Star Wars fans. That's the only way to look at
it. Yeah.
Oh man,
it's cool that we can actually do what we're doing here, which is maybe have a different opinion on something, maybe like a film that somebody else doesn't like, and that's fine, and actually have the conversation. But what happens is we don't have the conversation now because people are too, like, they will literally, the moment you start saying I don't like that thing that you like, they've already blocked you, cancelled you, moved away. And
man, it's fucking tribalism on a ridiculous fucking scale. I mean,
really
it is great that you can have genuine discourse, but it never reaches that fucking stage, as you said.
No, and people get really upset about that and like stressed and like I can't deal with the fact that you're not going to agree with me. It's totally fine if you don't agree with me. I don't mind. I prefer it if it was polite, and like I prefer it if you weren't abusive or rude when we're doing it. But that's my only rules. My rules aren't eventually you're going to agree with me or I'm going to stomp off because you don't. Like
the other thing is how fucking boring would the world be if everyone had the same fucking opinion?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, we've got so much media to consume. Everybody's got their own little corner that they can go to and enjoy. That's fantastic. But like when you're going into other people's things and saying, why do you like that? Like, you should not like that, or you're not allowed to like that. It's just another kind of almost like a authoritarian state or something, where it just doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, who gives a fuck if somebody likes Harry Potter? Like, you go, you enjoy your Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, like the rule of thumb is grand if I don't like it, but I'm not gonna fucking, like, as Jamie said, she's 51, she's a Harry Potter fan. I'm not gonna fucking give Jamie shit for fucking liking Harry Potter. She enjoys Harry Potter. I've my reasons not for liking it. I'm not gonna fucking rub them in Jamie's face or anyone else's face. If someone asks me why, I'll explain it, but I'm never gonna be like, hey, don't fucking watch this shit.
Yeah. What do you guys? It ties in a little bit with, you know, how Larry, you mentioned earlier on in the chat about the Deadpool movie, and the new one, and how I think you said that people like it was. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but the people were a good response to it. Now, the only responses I've seen to it have been quite negative, but it's almost the negative. Yeah, the negative ones that I've read are almost identical. Like they're all saying the same thing, and I was like, that's really interesting. It's like, what's the purpose of kind of giving this a 1-star rating? I don't know. I just like I start to question it a little bit. Like, is that your genuine opinion? Not that I think that this film is going to be like untouchable and perfect or whatever, but just it feels like, I don't know. It has to be really shockingly bad to be like a 1-star film. And I've seen quite a few of them.
I have criticisms of the movie. It does suffer a bit with again, this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but the TVA in it, and again, it does rely on you. The interconnectivity thing is always going to be an issue to me, because I don't think you should see fucking 5 other movies and 3 TV shows to know what the fuck is going on in the movie. Now, it doesn't entrench itself in the kind of in too much of the MCU lore, but I went with a friend and I had to just explain to him what the TVA was, and they kind of explained it as well in the movie. But again, I don't like the fact that a lot of Marvel movies are specifically made for Marvel fans. You have to watch the last 5 fucking movies.
Watch everything, all the series,
That's my only gripe with it, and it does kind of rectify it a bit. And I think that's a habit. They need to make more standalone movies and stuff that you don't have to have watched about 6 or 7 other fucking things.
Yeah, you do the reading for. Yeah.
Well, to
Yeah.
kind of
Do
to
do
piggyback
you
off what
think?
Marty said. Go ahead.
No, go
Sorry.
on.
No,
No,
sorry.
no, it's fine. Like, all I was going to say was, do you think it compares better to? Is it better than in your opinion, better than Deadpool 2?
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
I liked it. I liked Deadpool 2.
It's surprisingly, it's got way more fucking emotional impact than a Deadpool movie has any fucking right to.
Right.
Particularly
Okay.
both, and again, no fucking spoilers or anything, but both the character of Wolverine and Deadpool are going through some shit, and that plays out as well. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's not a Scorsese movie by any fucking means, but there's a bit more depth to it than it has any right to. That's just me.
No, that sounds interesting. Because I love the second one, and the only thing that really does piss me off. Sounds like I'm getting everything off my chest tonight. Because normally I don't really get particular, but this is one that Ashes should have been nominated for an Oscar for Best Song, and it was the best song that year at the cinema. Like that Celine Dion song is fucking out of this world.
That had no right to be on in a fucking Deadpool soundtrack.
It's so good. So good, and just watching her tonight, and I'm not like a massive Celine Dion fan, but she just saved the Olympic opening ceremony. Like it was trash until she came out on the Eiffel Tower at the end and destroyed. First time singing for years through this illness, and she destroyed singing an Edith Piaf song, and I was like gonna cry. It was beautiful, but going back to Deadpool, Ashes is a fucking banger of a song, and it deserved to have won best song at the Oscars. It's a travesty that it didn't.
I think sadly because it was fucking attached to Deadpool.
It's like horror. It's like horror. You know, if something's horror, it's not going to get that kind of critical acclaim.
1986. It was through gritted teeth that Sigourney Weaver got a fucking the Oscar nomination for Ripley for Aliens in 1986.
Crazy. Yeah. Insane. Look back at some of the great horror performances that have not even got looked at. I think performance of Mia Goth in Pearl. Like, you're telling me that there was that she didn't deserve to be mentioned, at least nominated.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few over the years. It's literally just went, hey, we gave you The Exorcist. What more do you want? Like,
but then nowadays it would be like, we gave you The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
They are getting better. Like, I don't think like Heath Ledger getting now. I think that's a posthumous thing. I think that was just he'd passed away, and they're like, okay, let's pay a bit of respect and give him the nod and the nomination and the Oscar.
I don't know. I think he deserved it though. Like,
oh no, he did. But he deserved it. But I don't know if the Academy would have given it to him had he not fucking passed away. Right. That's just my.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, I agree. I think he deserves it, and I think that he was brilliant, and he just it's just wonderful. But you're right. I think there's a possibility that tipped them over to giving him the nomination because there's I'm not like the world's biggest James McAvoy fan, but like he's incredible in Filth. Like that's a great film, a wonderful performance, and he was never going to get mentioned for it. And there's just certain, I don't know, yeah. But I think Filth stands out for me as his best performance in anything. I know it's kind of a bit more showy in some of the other things, but there's certain moments, isn't there, where you look at it. But then there's films that you remember, like The Artist won, didn't it? The French film won Best Picture, The Artist. Whoever talks about it, I didn't mind it. It's a great film. The dog's lovely. But whoever talks about it.
That's pure fucking Oscar bait. That movie was made to win an Oscar. It wasn't made to be fucking general. There's movies out there like fucking, oh Christ. Slumdog, or what's the one with fucking
like Life of Pi or something.
Yeah, Life of Pi.
Yeah. There's another one with Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett. It's set in Japan. It's set in Afghanistan. It's set in a couple of different places. Shit. And it's pretentious as fuck. And I was like, watch it. This has just been made to win an Oscar. That's what it is. Yeah. It's a Soderbergh movie. I think it's some Stephen
Oh,
Soderbergh
okay.
movie.
Yeah. Is it
Professor
ending
S-
Anna? Something Anna?
I don't think I've never heard of that one.
I'll fucking hang on. I'll look it up here because it's fucking bugging the shit out of me now. It's like fuck.
Professor says, I can't stand that argument. You don't like the Acolyte? Well, too bad. It's not made for you Star Wars fans. It's made for someone.
Yeah, don't you think that the thing with that as well is like that sometimes they're doing that the issue with that isn't necessarily the thing they're making, it's their attitude to it, which is we're almost doing this to piss you off, we're doing this to spite you, we're doing this to like which is counterproductive to fans because they're just going, well, the actual real fans are quite a small section, so we don't really give a shit about you, so we'll just take the piss. And that's quite frustrating. Just make your thing and let it be judged on its merits. And everybody might like it might not. But to be like, oh, I love upsetting people because I'm making this edgy thing. Oh, number one, it's probably not that edgy because it's Star Wars. And number two, and number two, like being a fucking edgelord, like when you're making films, is embarrassing. You're an adult, grow up, like.
It's the thing is as well. I don't like people turning around. Well, people are just sexist because there's women and there's a lesbian. Fucking no, it's shit. It's fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not even seen it yet, so I've not really got much of a thing. I've only seen the Red Letter Media video on it, which I thought was a really good balanced take on it. It wasn't just a takedown of the show, but it was equally like a takedown of both sides of the ridiculous argument.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of bad stuff about the Acolyte, and I mean, the only thing Star Wars I've really seen recently was just I saw all the way through Andor. I really liked it. It gave me
Yeah,
some really good
gets-
Blade Runner vibes. It's a
better
slow
and better,
burn, but
doesn't
it gets
Yes,
like intense as it
exactly.
goes.
Oh, that last episode! Wow, yeah, it
Yeah.
builds, doesn't it? Like you say, it's a slow burn, and it's hard these days to make anything that's a slow burn because people will just switch off.
And Andor was fucking brilliant. Andor's like if someone said, "Hey, I'm going to make The Wire in the Star Wars universe." That's what Andor was for me.
Yeah, good point.
Jamie says people are too soft these days. They can't handle hearing any opinion that doesn't support their own. They end up feeling judged and don't know how to deal. Yeah, pretty much. You nailed it right on the head, Jamie. That's for sure.
That's why I've blocked Larry right now for talking shit about Last Jedi. Blocked.
Also, the pretentious movie that had Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett that was made to get an Oscar, Babel. That's what it was called, Babel.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Babel, right.
I remember the name. I never saw it.
Yeah, it came out in fucking 2006.
The one about the pig.
It's fucking pretentious as fuck.
It's the one about the pig. I know that one. Babel. Yeah. It's like a little pig.
Pig in the city.
Yeah, that's the one.
They killed it, stuffed it, and turned it into a table. It's called Babel.
Babel. That is a good mashup of a film.
Pig in the city.
Yeah, like Pig in the
city.
Like selling him in an antique shop.
When you first said it, I was like, wait, Babel? Is that the Mumford and Sons second album or third album?
Jesus,
I don't know them.
That's a fucking deep cut there.
It's too deep for me. I don't know much about Mumford and Sons.
Professor says, I think the world would be a better place if we all put our differences behind, come together as a united human race, and agree that big boobies are the best thing ever.
I love these capitalized big boobies as well.
Yeah. All caps would have been more like, boom, in your face. A man agrees. Preach, Professor. Yep, pretty much. So we're all in agreement. All
5 only got little boobies, so I'm working on it though.
And Mr. Bones, he says he has big boobies. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to Mr. Bones. Welcome, Mr. Bones.
I'm feeling quite inadequate now.
He has a suffocating kind. Interesting.
Wow.
All right.
What kind of geeky shit are they discussing in your fucking chat, dude? I expect that kind of shit from Jen, not ye people. Not ye people at all.
Well, that's why she was here earlier, and she kind of She
Fucking
infected the
28
chat.
days later, this fucking infected everyone.
As to your question, Mr. Bones, Don, he's in the process of moving right now, so that's why he's been unavailable. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, and so yeah, once he's back and ready to go, we'll be back within the house again. The other thing is, it's Don's birthday today, so
Happy birthday, Don.
so anybody
Birthday
that's a fan of
to
Don's,
the
there you go,
owl.
the owl, yes.
His amazing Misfits T-shirt as well, guys. Get him if you were looking for a good birthday present for anyone, not just Don. Buy Don's Misfits Night Owl T-shirt. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And if anybody has a link to that, definitely throw it in the chat. But no, that's where he's been. I haven't spoken to him, but the last I did speak to him, he was going to be moving and stuff like that. He's in the process of that, so that's why he's been MIA as of late.
And obviously, the last time I talked to him, of course, we did a live stream watching soccer or football, as humans in England call it.
Well,
yeah.
And definitely check that out, guys. If you haven't checked it out, I saw some of it. It was pretty hilarious. So yeah, definitely.
Don was on top form. He was so funny. Obviously, I introduced him as former USA international soccer player Don Goalshot Nichols. So obviously, I used all his skills and experience in football to watch the football with him. Yeah, it was really funny.
It looks like our man Jay Harang's here. Hello, sir. How you doing? And he just did a video on The Baby.
Oh, I love The Baby.
Weird film, man.
It is weird as hell, but
film.
great. Yeah,
Y'all definitely got to check out that video, man. There's some. I haven't seen it, but seeing that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, so you say The Baby's free on YouTube, so people want to watch that. It's a ride. It is a ride.
Yeah.
Man, babies.
From when I saw in this video, I was like, "Holy cow, man!" Like Jesus, and then the way it ends, I was like, "Wow, man!"
Weird film, but good.
Yeah.
It could only be made in the 70s. It's the only movie that you could only have made in the 70s.
Exactly, and it's creepier because it is from that time, and the way they dress and the haircuts and the house and the decor and everything makes it weirder.
From the clips that I've seen and everything, it just looks gritty. It looks like like how we're saying, it just looks so like dingy and like kind of just like makes your skin crawl. At least when I was like looking at Jay's video, I was like, man,
that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. Bird is a word, Lay. Everybody saying hi. Everybody saying hi to everybody. Don, maybe the bird. That's my dog. Yeah, Don's everybody's dog. Or bird. I was gonna say, Larry and Don are going to Sean's panel. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Later on, I'll be on Sean Cinephile Sanity's channel tonight doing Alien 3.
You're everywhere, man.
Lucky motherfucker. Which version? Assembly cut or regular cut?
Regular.
Yeah, okay. All right, I suppose.
Why? What's wrong with that, Marty?
No, I prefer. No, I like the theatrical cut, but I think if you want a pure version of the movie, you got to watch the assembly cut. That's just my 2 cents.
No, and you know what? I love the assembly cut. It's definitely, when I actually found it and started watched it, I was like, wow, this makes way more sense. I love and then that added. I mean, if anybody hasn't seen it, y'all definitely need to check it out. But I love that added like missing part.
Yeah.
That almost like that missing story part. I won't give anything away, but if you've seen the assembly cut, then you know what I'm talking about.
It explains why Paul McGann suddenly disappears from the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Goes off to be Doctor Who somewhere. Sure.
Yeah.
he went off in his TARDIS somewhere.
Jamie says, I refuse to watch the Star Wars TV shows. I'm too old and I know they aren't made for me. Plus, Disney is the what? Dibble?
Dibble?
The Devil.
Oh, the Devil.
I I like that. I like the devil. I like that.
The devil came down to Georgia.
Not the devil.
And Jay
The devil.
agrees.
The devil.
Yeah, Russell agrees. Another thing I ever enjoyed from the show was Mandalorian. I only like Mandalorian season 1 and 2. 3.
1 and 2 are good. Yeah.
Ugh, man, that was
Larry,
Again,
have
it's
you
one of
watched,
those.
you've watched Andor, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah, no, it's that's a great show. I hope we get a second season of that.
We
Yeah,
are.
it's good. So there's a few bits of Obi-Wan that are quite good as well. I think the worst is the Book of Boba Fett. I think that's possibly the worst because it's just sad seeing him lumber around and like it's just yeah. And there's no story and they don't do anything.
I'm not trying to be a dick, and they kind of make it work, but Tamara Morrison, I don't need like Tubba Fett. I need Bubba Fett. He looks a bit chunky in that fucking armor, lads. I'm just gonna say it. Am I
Or
being
when he's shooting, no, because he's shooting his way out of that Sarlacc pit, and you're thinking, I think I was fine with him staying in there. Like, that's fine. He's still a cool character. If anything, he's a cooler character if he just stayed.
No, I was excited for his return, but then I was like,
I mean, I there's two things. One, I didn't like the fact that every 5 minutes he was like, "Don't you know who I am? I'm Boba Fett."
Yeah.
Like he's having to announce who he is. I'm like,
Boba Fett never talked that much. This dude did not get the fuck up, and it's Boba Fett.
I think that's the key, isn't it? There's not a show there, is there? Really? That's the thing.
No, the thing of it is like him, like before in the older films, it's like him just showing up. You knew who he was.
Yeah.
You know, like he was the most notorious bounty hunter in the whole galaxy, and now he's having to announce himself. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me.
He was the Clint Eastwood. He was the blondie, the manco, the mysterious stranger of the fucking Star Wars universe. I think they should have gotten the kid who fucking played him in fucking Attack of the Clones to be Boba Fett. Because again, the time lapse doesn't make any fucking sense. Boba Fett would not be that old. Now I know they say, "Oh yeah, it was the fucking Sarlacc pit," and I just realized I'm actually doing exactly what we were bitching about earlier on.
Yeah. No, but like it's interesting because how cool would that be if it would have been like a really gritty Western, like almost like what was it, like almost like Dust Bowl kind of feel to it, like Carnival or even like Deadwood kind of feel to it.
Yeah,
and he was like Clint Eastwood. You know, he was kind of very upright and didn't do much or say much, but the fear was that would be awesome. That would be really good. You're spot on with that, and maybe that's why we get frustrated and go, "Oh, they didn't go in that direction. They kind of just did what they did."
Professor Macabro says it was false advertising because he didn't write a book. Why did they call it Book of Boba Fett if he never?
If he was just sat there writing a book every episode and just like, "Oh, what's in your book?" and he's like, "I'm not telling you. It's a secret."
Is this Boba Fett or Jessica Fletcher? What the fuck is going on?
Or if he threw it up in the air at the end and it went dee 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 like at the end.
Well, my other thing is like I started calling that show, you know, the Mandalorian featuring Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Because really
it gets confusing.
Yeah, right in the middle of it just goes to Mandalorian and then that's the other thing too, that show undermines like the emotional weight of season 2 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, because he gets Grogu fucking spoilers, I guess. Fucking.
You know, it's like it's one of those things where like because me personally, when I first saw the season finale of season 2, I was just like I got so like I was like all the other, you know, old Star Wars fans that cried at the end of it. I'm gonna admit it, I cried because I was just like, that's my Luke Skywalker, you know.
Yeah, it was an earned moment, and it made sense, and it had built up, and it involved the history. It was good, but then when it, like you said, that's when it should have stopped.
Yeah,
but
then go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the other thing as well, Larry, is it's going back to what I was saying about the Marvel stuff, because I had friends who loved The Mandalorian. They're like, I'm going to leave Boba Fett out. And then they watch season 3 of The Mandalorian and they're like, when did he get Grogu back? And I'm like, you got to watch fucking Boba Fett, and they're like, I don't have time to do that. I can dedicate myself
Yeah,
to one fucking show, like, you know.
yeah. It's crazy.
Jay
There's
says
so
Andor
much,
was
so
great.
much pre-reading and post-reading and extra things, extra
You got to
homework.
do homework for TV shows now, apparently.
Yeah. No, I mean and going back to the Deadpool thing, I thought it was interesting that because I think we had finished watching season 2 of Loki, and I was like, you know what's weird is like this happens in Loki season 2. How come we haven't seen anything in any of the films? There's been no talk of it. There's no repercussions in anything that's come up. And then
I've
here
not
we
seen
go.
it. So.
And then we see the TVA in the trailer for Deadpool Wolverine, and I was like, oh well, there you go. As soon as I said it, like I see the trailer, and that's what came up, and I was like, okay, well,
It's weird how they acknowledge a lot of stuff as integral to other movies, but then in the Eternals, there's this giant fucking dead space giant now in the fucking Pacific Ocean, and no one's going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're in it. We're in the era where people turn up in post-credit scenes and we never see them again. Like they're never mentioned. We go, oh, it's that person that you're supposed to know who's amazing and cool and new, and you go, oh right, okay. When are they popping up again? Never. Like we're never gonna see them.
What the fuck is Jon Snow and the guy from fucking One Direction doing in this movie?
Just people go, oh, look, it's Harry Styles. Okay, I'm glad I sat around for 10 minutes watching who did all the computer work on this.
Yeah, I don't know, man. All the Marvel stuff, I just haven't watched. I think the last thing I watched was maybe for the TV shows. I saw Moon Knight. I saw that all the way through. I liked it.
That's good.
Yeah, so I haven't finished that yet. I started, I never finished it. Like a lot of the, I didn't mind Hawkeye. I didn't mind Ms. Marvel. I thought was good. I think she's just got so much charisma. That kid. I bear in mind I'm biased because I read the comics and she's very much the character from the comics.
Matt, she saved the Marvels because
I thought so. I thought she was the best thing about it. If anything, I was like, if she was the only character out of those three, I'd have been happy.
Yeah.
No, the only ones, the only other ones I saw was I loved Werewolf by Night.
That was brilliant.
That was great.
Yeah,
I was shocked. That was directed by Michael Giacchino. That guy had only done soundtracks. He'd done soundtracks for fucking. I know he'd done the Jurassic World soundtrack. He got to start off doing video game soundtracks such as Medal of Honor and Lost World Jurassic Park game for the PS1. Then he done soundtracks for movies, and then he got a directing gig, and it's like cool, and he does a good job.
Yeah,
wow,
I mean,
that's unusual, man.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. But no, I saw that Werewolf by Night, and I was like, man, this is so good. It literally reminded me of an old school Universal monster, but just monster film, but gory.
I love Ted.
Have you seen the color version of it? Because they colorized it, didn't they? I haven't seen. I've only seen the black and white one. I don't know what the colorized one's like.
I haven't seen that one.
It's in color, but I mean, in terms of like, does it make any difference? I don't know.
I'd say the gore obviously be enhanced.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And May says, yeah, Werewolf by Night was good. Macabre said last Martin 2 show I saw was What If. I did start watching X-Men 97. I haven't finished yet. That was
that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I watched 2 of those so far. Yeah.
But other than that, I mean the Marvel films, I think the last one I saw was Multiverse of Madness, maybe. I think that was the last one.
Is that?
I like that one. That was Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange versus Wanda.
Oh, I got it mixed up with the what was the Ant-Man called Quantumania? That was fucking dire. That was
never saw it.
Yeah,
and then I was hugely disappointed with Love and Thunder.
It was it's just as well your man got fired, because if you're setting up your fucking big bad and he gets taken out by fucking Ant-Man, you made a serious fucking tactical error.
Oh yeah, forgot even that he was even in it. I mean, all I remember from it is Bill Murray just turning up and being Bill Murray, and
He gets eaten by an octopus or some shit.
yeah. And I was just like, even Bill Murray was like, "Is this Garfield? Like, am I being Garfield now? Is this?" Like, he just doesn't give a fuck at this stage.
Oh man, it's crazy.
He's just wandering around. Do you guys see the dead don't the dead don't die, the dead won't die?
Yeah,
with
the
Adam
Dead Don't Die.
Driver.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's fun. It's like if fucking Wes Anderson done a fucking zombie movie.
That's an interesting one for how it ends, though, isn't it? Because we talked about jarring endings. Like, I was really enjoying that film, and it was loads of fun. And then it's just like, hey, we're in a movie. Bye.
But I think that's what
mind,
I think it lends to it, though, like the fun of it, and just like how like.
I saw it twice at the cinema for some reason, but yeah, I must have liked it.
Weird.
Hated it, but I saw it twice in the theater.
Fucking hate watch it. Just to spit on the screen.
I think it was kind of I was just hate watching it. But like the jarring side of it, again, I don't know, maybe that's why I watched it the second time, because maybe I was just like, did that just happen? But because I was really enjoying the interplay with him and what's his name, Adam Driver,
Kylo. You can say it, Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren, Rilo Ken.
Rilo
Really enjoyed Rilo. So yeah.
And it says I went to go see Love and Thunder. I want my money back. Yeah, that one. I waited to streaming for that one because I heard so many bad things about it, and I loved Ragnarok so much that I was just like, oh, so
and I like Taika Waititi films too.
The thing that fucking sucks was there was a really good fucking kind of subplot with Jane Foster fucking battling cancer, and they totally undermined the fucking thing. You're like, you had the heart to your fucking story there, and you focused on all this goofy shit. And
well,
like,
it was always like
even
he
the
couldn't
stuff
help
with
himself.
Yeah, but it's like even with Gore, the God Butcher.
Yeah,
like,
that had a lot of ways as well, and they done nothing with it.
Yeah, that was the thing I felt was so wasted with Christian Bale, man.
It's like the Anchorman 2 of Marvel movies, in the sense of it's like, oh well, we'll just improvise this because we're all fucking hilarious. Like, we don't need to, like, we'll just you just let him go and we'll cut together the funniest shit, because like Chris Hemsworth's a hilarious dude and I'm Taika Waititi, and like which is really frustrating. It's really frustrating because when he's sensitive and thinks carefully about what he does, he makes films like Hunt for the Wilder People and Boy and like the other Thor film, and there's some really great stuff that he does.
Jojo Rabbit.
Then
Next Goal Wins. That's another fucking great movie as well.
I've not seen that, but
it's on Disney Plus. If you've Disney Plus, man, it's actually up there now.
Oh,
which one?
I'll check that out.
Next Goal Wins. It's
the Fassbender's in that, isn't
yeah.
it?
Oh yeah. He did that movie?
Yeah, he did.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Larry, I meant to say as well. Okay, Gore the God Butcher. If you only kill 2 fucking gods in the movie, I don't really consider you a god butcher. You killed one guy at the fucking start, and then that fucking dinosaur god, and that was it. I was like, how is this guy a threat? What's like,
True story. No, Resident Evil Madness. Not my God Butcher. Hashtag not my God Butcher.
Not your mom. He's not your mama's God Butcher.
The Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home were pretty solid. Yeah, they were. I did like No Way Home. I love that even that post-credit scene where you see Tom Hardy and Venom and stuff like that. I was really, and you see the symbiote at the end. Like, I thought that was pretty cool.
There's good stuff in there, but it's just such a volume. It's just like sifting through, isn't it? Now?
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be like we said it before, like I think like Marcy said right at the beginning, it's like it used to be exciting. Like
it used to be an event. When a Marvel movie came out, was an event. It was something to look forward to.
And honestly, where did it stop? In my opinion, Captain Marvel.
I just think it should have been like I said before, like an enforced end after Endgame, like a break. But that was never going to happen because they've got to make money.
No, fucking.
I wish the Black Widow movie would have came out when that instead of Captain Marvel, they should have had the Black
Oh
Widow.
yeah.
Again, the logic of finally releasing a movie about Black Widow after she fucking died. Explain
Yeah.
that fucking logic to me. It's like, why am I going to get invested? Because this bitch just took a fucking nosedive off an alien planet, like, you know.
Yeah, the logics.
Yeah, I never understood that. Jay says I think he gave up after with Marvel after WandaVision. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I had high hopes for WandaVision because I was a big fan of Legion, and seeing the early trailers of WandaVision, I was like, oh man, this is some sort of like Legion-esque, you know?
Yeah, that comic that it came from as well. I was a bit disappointed because it was probably one of my favorite comics of all time. It weaves in Shakespeare and just it's great. It's like WandaVision's brilliant. It's a really good TV show, but there's so much from the source material. And actually, you can get the deluxe edition of it. Was it Little Less Than a Man or Little More Than a God or something like that? You can get the whole compendium now for like.
Shit. I think fucking Wanda killed him. She snapped him.
She snapped him.
She doesn't want.
Yeah.
Ah, he's back.
And you're back.
We thought you got snapped.
You got snapped by Wanda.
I was talking shit about WandaVision and like Disney were like, that's the good one. No, to be fair, I love WandaVision. I thought it was great, but like it's a bit like anything, isn't it? The book is always going to be better than the film, and in this case, the comic's always going to be better than the series.
One of the few occasions, lads, that I've seen the opposite of that. Because I'm a fucking big Gareth Ennis fan. Love Punisher, love Preacher. The Boys, I actually think the TV show is way better than the comics.
Do you know what? I agree. I could never get into the comic.
I collected, again, Matt, I was a big collector of Gareth Ennis and collected all the Boys. My issue
I used
with
to
the
get
Boys,
Preacher. Yeah.
Preacher was fucking brilliant. But my problem with the Boys was, Matt might remember these. Do you remember the Viz comics, Matt?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
It was like reading that, like Fat Slags and stuff like that. It was like reading those really fucking crude kind of shitty comics.
Yeah, really transgressive and silly.
Yeah, that's what the Boys had fucking, that comic kind of felt like. And I was like, I can't get into this. I can't fucking take it seriously. But in fairness, I think the show is actually light years ahead of the comic.
I need to. I only watched the first series. I need to keep watching it, I think.
There you go, man. Scarlet Witch hit you.
So, that's it. She was like, "No, it's all about me. It's not about Vision."
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the Agatha series. It looks interesting because it looks kind of horror-esque. Like I was like, wow.
Audrey Plaza, is it coming out for Halloween?
I don't remember. Let's see.
It'd be ideal if it came out for Halloween, Larry. Like,
yeah, it definitely would be. What was it called? Agatha All Along, right?
That's, or Agatha Harkness or some fucking.
Oh, it's actually coming out in September.
Oh, okay.
Major misstep. September 18th.
You should have brought it out fucking Halloween.
Yeah, from that trailer, it looked like it was going to be,
Halloween show.
Yeah. Russell says he loved Legion. He also says Aussie film Undead. Is that the one? Undead?
Oh, no, Undead.
I'm thinking The Dead from that's African film.
Yes, Undead is basically there's a fucking Wormwood's the one with no. Undead has the meteorite. Undead is the one with the meteorite, and there's a dude going around with 3 or 4 shotguns taped together to fucking kill the zombies, and there's a barrier. It turns out it was a meteorite and the aliens that caused the infection in that one. It's fun, but I prefer Wormwood because it's just Mad Max with zombies.
Yeah, sounds good. It's been on my list for a while. I've not seen it. Wormwood.
They done a sequel and they done a TV show as well.
Oh, blimey! Like most things, I'm about 10 years behind stuff. They've made like 12 sequels to films that I'm still like on the fence about watching.
The guy who directed them masks, he done Steen. He done the giant spider movie Steen.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Same director.
that's interesting. I'll check them out. I've got. Oh man, there was one somebody mentioned earlier on. Oh geez, on the stream. Larry, you were there. You might remember it. What was it? From the 80s. It's just a one name, like a woman's name, one name.
What's it about?
And it was like a teen girl who murders people. And I was just like, I've never heard of this film. Jeez, I can't remember what it was. Live Style Rewind who mentioned it.
I'll have to go back. I don't recall off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, I just can't remember. But it's just like people are throwing so many great, and I'm sure they're all brilliant films. It's quite overwhelming sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's
so
like
many things
there's just so many things out there that I know I haven't seen when I was growing up and stuff, and even now, like with all the information overload that everybody, it's like going back to that film The Baby. Like I only recently heard about that, and then I saw Jay's video on it. I'm like, man, I never knew this existed. And
is it weird though that like bad movies do like quote unquote bad movies do the rounds, like that, like somebody will discover it, and then bit by bit you'll hear like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people talking about a film from like 1982 or a film like, and you'll just go, well, how did this? Is there somebody kind of rediscovers a bad movie or a funny movie? And obviously, then the ultimate end of that is enough people talk about them where Vinegar Syndrome then made like a 40,
they're like, oh, this is popular, and no one fucking buys it because it's already uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah, or there's like 10 copies of it, and you can buy them on like eBay for like 300 quid.
No, the other one, the one that we need to see get some sort of love is The Keep. I feel like that one.
Yes,
needs to make a resurgence.
I don't know The Keep. What's The Keep?
Michael Mann movie.
Oh
it's
man,
essentially...
Michael Mann. Yeah.
Larry, do you want to take it? Sorry, I'm cutting across you. It's your stream.
No, it's all good, man. I mean, y'all held it down while I was away. So if anything, it's it's more you all stream right now at this point. No, The Keep basically it's taking place during World War II. The Nazis go to occupy this small village town, and there's like this big silo that has like several crosses, stuff like that, and then they tried to occupy the place, and then some of the soldiers are I'm giving like bullet points at this point, and they tell them not to remove any of the silver crosses that are in there, and lo and behold, one of the guys eventually they pull a silver cross, and all of a sudden this like sort of a golem comes to life, and then there's a lot of great actors in it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean, I wasn't just like, no, fuck you, Larry, I don't want to watch it.
Nazi, I don't want to watch this.
I was just like, bye. No, yeah, no, I've got a thing comes up on my phone and just said everything's shutting down. So I was freaking out as you were explaining that, but yeah, it sounds cool. I like Michael Mann. It's weird that's kind of washed over me. I wonder why that is.
It's kind of got a cult. It's got a super cult status, because it's the full cut of the movie was never released. The closest you'll get is a TV version that was released on the German DVD, but the film was butchered. Great cast. Fucking Jürgen Prochnow, Gabriel Byrne, Ian McKellen, Scott Glenn, and Larry. Does Tangerine Dreams do the soundtrack?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Tangerine Dreams, really cool. They do a great score to that. I mean, I mean, that's, and I think the original cut was like 3 hours, right?
About 3
so
about
do you reckon there'll be a version of it on YouTube?
45 minutes.
On YouTube, I don't know. I know they do have it. They have it on Prime, but not, you have to buy it or rent it.
Right.
That was the last I've seen. I haven't seen it anywhere streaming.
It's a bastard to track down. I tracked down a German copy with the extended television cut, and it was running for about 40 quid. And I'm like, for a DVD, nah, I don't think so. And there's no special features or anything. The only special feature is it's a television cut of the movie.
See, Professor knows. I mean, it's because Michael Mann, once they butchered the film and they didn't release it in how he wanted, he's disowned it. Like he has nothing, doesn't want anything to do with it. So yeah, that's basically why we don't see anything. It's just because he's never gonna sign off on it. He's never gonna, yeah. But that one's one I feel needs to get a sort of upgrade or something. I think they even had a laser disc of it. I'm not sure.
They did. My only issue is, Larry, you can tell with the ending that they cut shit just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Just happens all of a fucking sudden. Like certain characters turn up at a place, like they're in a different country, and then they fucking turn up, and then the battle, quote unquote, with the golem is very fucking abrupt.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this movie was chopped to bits.
Yeah, there's certain. I mean, and that's through the whole movie. Like it feels like it's very disjointed. Where it's just like a lot of parts where you're like watching and then you see Scott Glenn just turn up, yeah. And then he just he turns up in certain scenes, and then all of a sudden he's at the village or the little town, and it's just like but I mean, honestly, I enjoy it. I liked watching it.
The fact,
I'm gonna try that out.
Larry, the fact it's even in a fucking butchered state and that fantastic is even more of a tragedy, because you could know that if it was released complete, it would have been a fucking modern masterpiece.
I'm just curious if any of that footage or anything still exists.
Again, some of it made it into the TV cut that's on the German fucking DVD, but
I don't know. Let's see. Professor says, just don't confuse it with the gate. Most people think. I look at the gate with the little goblins.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. I've seen it.
I like the gate. I liked it as a kid. It's been ages since I've seen it. I always like that part where the dude falls and goes into the little
into bits.
Yeah, into the little goblin things. I thought that was always cool. The effects. I never was scared of that one. I always thought the goblins looked kind of cute. I was like, oh, I want one of those. But and then they use a rocket to kill the big one, which I thought was kind of interesting.
It's what Jen calls a gateway horror. If you ever want to introduce your kids to horror, that might be if they're 10 or 11, that might be a good way to start.
Do you know, I was telling somebody, I was telling someone, I've been saying this for years. I've been thinking.
That's gone again. WandaVision struck again,
guys.
Fuck's
sake, Wanda, Jesus. Let the man back. Oh, I meant to tell you, speaking of shitty films, myself and Jen are reviewing Tanya's Island tomorrow as requested by John Steele. It's a movie where Vanity is stuck on an island with a missing link and has sex with him.
Wow, Vanity did another film?
No, 1980. This is before her career took off. And basically she has sex with the equivalent of Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. The thing that fucking shocks me is the creature stuff is done by Rob Bottin and Rick Baker.
Wow.
Hello.
Hey, man, you're back. Wanda,
sorry about that. Thanks for letting me come back into the studio, Larry. I really appreciate it.
That was all Wanda. She let go of the powers.
Well, I was just about to say that I've always called Reanimator a gateway horror, and then somebody said to me, just break down what's in Reanimator before you start telling people to tell their kids to start watching.
Oh no! Barbara Compton getting eaten out by a disembodied head is not a good way to introduce children to horror.
A sleazy disembodied head. At that.
Oh, the Toonie Terrors of that is great, by the way.
It looks cool.
The Herbert West with the head at the side. So good.
I just hope the footage does exist somewhere and not lost forever. Like like Event Horizon, which was
Fucking salt mine. That's fucking insane.
Love Event Horizon.
that's one that I think I've said on the channel before. That one really tripped me out because I remember
Yeah,
seeing the
wow.
trailers for it, and I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna see some sci-fi movie,
Yeah,
and
great.
I was like, wow, this was not what I was expecting. And yeah, it. I think all the torture stuff, mutilation stuff, that's what really freaked me out back then. But I mean, the film, aside from a few CG issues, early CG issues, I mean, the film is great.
It's they marketed it as The Shining in space, and they're not fucking wrong. It's kind of like it's essentially The Shining in space.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Like I love any. I'm not going to say this is that, but anything like post Alien, or knockoffs of Alien, even if they're terrible, I'll watch them all day long. Like Dead Space, Galaxy of Terror. There's so many.
Seconds?
Yeah.
I love that Rutger Hauer in fucking England. It's like Taggart meets Alien.
And like Inseminoid. Actually, if you've got a link to that, or find somewhere, because that's one I've not seen for a while. But I watched. I think I said to you guys in the chat before. I watched every film that has Battle Beyond the Stars clips in it. So everything that Corman reused. So I watched them all this week just because, and I it's just a nice comfort style of movie for me. Even though there's some weird stuff going on, particularly in things like Inseminoid. And in Galaxy of Terror, to be fair, but I just love an Event Horizon. I just love that kind of thing. I don't know what it is. I'll just put them on, even though I'm not the world's biggest Alien fan. Like I prefer the knockoffs. I love Alien and Aliens. I'll go back and watch them, but like I'm not going to sit down and watch Prometheus. Like I'm all right.
Alien 3, man.
Yeah, I'll watch it, but like I'd
Good
rather
luck.
watch.
I'm done.
I'd rather. Yeah. He's gone. I think I'd rather watch Galaxy of Terror, Marty.
Okay, fucking another fucking hater for the Alien 3 fucking crowd. Okay.
No, I don't hate it, but I don't know what it is really. It's just the way my brain works. Is like I quite like shark knockoffs are more like I love Jaws, but like shark knockoffs like Shark Attack 3 and things like that, I find them just so entertaining. The Shark Attack? Sorry, go on.
No. After you.
Oh, the only thing I was going to say was Shark Attack 3 with John Barrowman, where he just says to the woman they all need to get some rest before the big thing at the end, and he goes, "What say we go home and I eat your pussy?" And then then the scene ends, and it is never mentioned again. And then, I just like it's
that's a Captain Jack Harkness into fucking say all right. But you know what, Matt? In fairness, if you were to talk to Dan O'Bannon or Ron Shusett, a lot of the Alien is essentially a cheesy fucking sci-fi B movie with a big budget. So again, it's just it's a shinier sheen of paint on a fucking economy car. That's all it is. So yeah, I can't fucking argue with you with that. Like,
yeah, it's like you guys watched not like Inseminoid or Contamination, the Luigi Cozzi Contamination.
That they tried. There's like Alien 2. Did they use that as an alternate title?
Alien 2. But again, that's when Cozzi was making films where he either had a book to go off or a poster to go off. So like obviously Star Crash, which is one of my weird things that I collect, everything to do with Star Crash. He made that based off a Star Wars poster. So like I just love stuff like that. That's my kind of sweet spot, is just trash knockoffs of things in space.
It's like fucking Samurai Cop. It's like the director of Samurai Cop went into the video store, read the back of Lethal Weapon, and went, "I got an idea for a movie." It's like,
yes, what a film that is.
Looks like Johnny from the Wild Guys is here. Hey Johnny, how's it going? Everybody's saying hi. Yeah, I do like Galaxy of Terror. I think it's pretty fun. I only recently, or not recently, it was like about 2 years now, discovered that film, and I was like, wow, this is really good.
That's fun.
I mean, early Sid Haig and Robert Englund and stuff like that. And I mean, what's the name? Was working with the effects or helped with the effects? James Cameron. I mean,
Yeah, the set
Yeah.
design.
mhm.
Yeah, often the people involved go on and do some pretty like amazing stuff, or had something to do with the source material in some roundabout way, which I always find really interesting. So it's a really nice IMDb dive as well, isn't it, when you watch these sort of things?
A lot of big directors cut their teeth working under fucking Roger Corman.
Oh, that's it. It's like, if you're any good, you'll never work for me again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the perfect,
if Roger Corman's their boss, that's the best thing he can fucking say to you.
yeah, it totally makes sense. Like Battle Beyond the Stars is there's some deliberately cheesy, embarrassing, like double entendres in that, but then obviously they've only used the fighting bits and the miniatures bits to think, and they're still making them using those parts in the 90s, which blows my mind. You're making the same film over and over again, and like only Corman.
So fucking
so good.
The fucking Carnosaur series. Those fucking he used those dinosaurs till they literally fell apart. Doing shit falling off them, and they were still using them in the movie. You're like, do you want to make some? No, they're good. They're good.
Put some extra duct tape on it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, have you seen what the Gremlins look like these days? They're like held together, like people who own Gremlins. They're held together by like cocktail sticks because they're all rotted away.
Or the Ninja Turtles, the fucking old Ninja Turtles costume. Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Nightmare Fuel, exactly.
Well, yeah, it's like and I think NECA took that as a design.
The design for the Mummy. The Mummy one is
I mean, it's.
I thought you were going to say they're gonna make rotting. I thought they're gonna make rotting turtles figures next.
They need to, man. That would be great. It would make me pick. It would make me pick up the turtle line aside from the Universal Monster mashup.
I did buy a turtle recently, a turtle figure, which.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bought the Jackie Chan Splinter figure. Because I loved Mutant Mayhem. I loved it. I wasn't expecting to, but I loved it.
That movie again, that had no right to be as good as it did. The scene with April vomiting, that was fucking.
Oh yeah. I loved it. I was so expecting it to be terrible. I was like, sausage party, guys. No thanks.
It looks like Johnny says we have a shout out for you later at Sean's if you can stop by, Larry. Actually, Johnny, I'll be on the stream, so I'll definitely be there, and that should be coming up in tonight. Yeah, I'm getting overexposed, like Don would say. That should be starting in 50 minutes, so we'll probably have to wrap it up here soon. I will have to say, man says, Matt, are you not looking forward to Romulus?
No, I'll watch that because it might be terrible. So I'm really excited. No, it's cool because of
Marty's face.
No. This might be the case where I might have to take credence with Matt on that fucking regard.
The only thing I'm excited about in terms of it being good is the timeline interests me.
Yeah.
That's the thing that stands out, because I'm like, oh, if it's just like, let's set up a whole new thing and make the same films again, but with different actors, and do like a kind of Force Awakens for aliens, then I'm not interested. But if it's in between two of the films and they do something different, and it looks like it might be interesting, I don't know, who knows, we'll wait and see.
The thing I'm looking forward to the most about it is the telephone in the background.
The whole movie, and it's just like
no. I'd be like, oh, there it is. Essentially, Matt, are you a gamer? Do you play kind of?
Not really, not modern games. I literally just bought like a retro game thing, HDMI thing. I was playing Street Fighter 2 earlier on, so that's my level. Xenon 2 and Speedball 2, anything with 2 in it.
The thing I'm looking forward to is Fede Alvarez put up a picture, and there's a video game called Alien Isolation, and so you don't die. The save system is a payphone on the fucking the retro future thing. So he has them littered throughout the fucking station.
Well, was that an arcade game as well?
No.
No, right. Because there's an Alien arcade game I vividly remember playing as a kid.
That's the Konami one. That's the Konami one. And there's an Alien versus Predator one from Capcom. That's fucking.
That's also really good.
That was fun. The one going through all the doors, and they're above you, they're below you, they're all. Oh my word. Yeah.
Jay says same. I guess with shark movies, like what you were saying.
If you've not seen, I think it's Shark Attack 3 with John Barrowman. That'll be a good video for you, Jay, in the future. You can credit me on your channel as well.
Doesn't matter how bad they are, I watch them. Professor says Shark. Yeah, there you go, Shark Attack 3. Right before you said. Megalodon is freaking amazing.
Yeah. No, yeah. Colon Megalodon. Yeah, let's go and eat. Let's take you back to your house and go eat your pussy or whatever he said. I can't remember now. But yeah, that was amazing.
Okay, what now? It looks like Jason's back. How's it going, Jason? Yes, I guess Jay has seen it. I got to do work and have you guys on the background. I had to come back here because I heard Matt saying something about eating.
Listen, I know Larry's audience.
Yeah, there you go.
I know what they're looking for.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh man. No, yeah. But yeah, everybody's zombie turtles. Yeah, we need that. Are you happy about the new glow in the dark figures, Larry?
Ooh.
For which one?
NECA are launching new Universal figures that glow in the dark.
Oh, are you talking about the wait, which ones? The kids clubs ones?
I think so. They're more simplified. They even have a more simpler design than the fucking the Jetta ones.
It's these ones. It's these ones. They're releasing these ones in the 4-pack. Which I could have just waited.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. You're fucking like me. You couldn't have waited.
No, I couldn't. That's why I'm saying.
Like, yeah. I thought you said you could have waited.
You know, it's like if I would have known, I wouldn't have went through the hardship of getting this guy, and I would have just bought the whole 4-pack that they were going to release. Which I was like, man, seriously, because I mean the Dracula looks kind of the Wolfman looks kind of but the Frankenstein in this sort of look, the translucent green looks really cool, and so I definitely, but they're not selling them separate. Which sucks.
What's the Cushing figure that you showed me? What's that from? Is that from that line? No, different line.
No, it's just a classics line. And if y'all haven't seen that, yeah, they're doing a whole oh man, they're doing just so many good stuff, which I can't wait to see.
I need a good Peter Cushing figure that isn't Star Wars. So I did have a Star Wars one, but I'd like a good, a really good, his face. People always make his face too cartoony. I need something that looks like Peter Cushing.
It probably still looks better than his face in Rogue One, though. Matt,
yeah, true story. Yeah. There it is, there for y'all to check out. It's there's a Peter Cushing. They also announced another version of Nosferatu or Count Orlok, and then another version of the Mummy, and another version of the Invisible Man. So can't wait to see that one. How those guys turn out. But I'm definitely waiting for that Peter Cushing one because I can't wait.
You're gonna send that over to me once you buy it.
Larry, do you think we'll get a Robert Eggers Nosferatu figure when that comes out?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I feel like NECA is gonna do the last minute. You know, just like they did with Thanksgiving. They announced it right before the movie was coming out. So I didn't. And until I saw Thanksgiving, then I literally pre-ordered it that night after I came out of the movie. So we'll see. I mean, I if they want to jump on it real quick, but have they done any 824 stuff?
I don't think so, but like, if you wanted, you could use the fucking maybe the Pennywise face mold or something of fucking
Yeah,
Skarsgård
pretty
as a
much.
template.
Does he have a terrible movie? I don't think. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Who's that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, because I mean, I still love um, Evil Dead 2013, especially
Yeah.
over Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise was okay. I just don't think it was as awesome as everybody was saying it was.
Yeah, had its
Ninja,
moments.
Ninja, fucking, it's a great game, man. Give it another shot.
It's crazy how it's just basically you can't kill the xenomorph.
No,
Like, I mean, it's great. Even you have weapons, like you have guns and stuff, and the ammo is like sparse throughout the whole game, but you can't kill it.
no.
You know, it's nuts. I thought it was good. Went back to Colonial Murphys.
Oh Jesus, you poor bastard! That's like oh no, this Sauvignon Blanc's too fucking strong for me. Give me the Buckfest. It's like fucking Jesus.
Jay says he's on it for Shark Attack 3. So there you go,
Nice.
guys. You heard it here first.
Nice. Obviously, there's a key moment that's been spoiled with Mr. Barron.
Yeah, I could see that, Jason. More alien action. Now, Fireteam Elite, man, that's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, I said the Universal Monsters. I want that 4-pack. I think it's available now. You can buy it. I think you could pre-order it on NECA's site right now. But yeah, it's one that I thought about it for a split second. I went to NECA site and I put it in a cart, and I was just like, I have the one I want, you know. And I have 2 of these, so
Yeah, I saw another
thanks, okay.
creature one the other day, and they were selling them off really cheap. They were quite small figures, but there was one, and there was a similar one to go with it of Reagan from The Exorcist, and they were all priced quite well, but they all looked okay. But they weren't like massive figures or anything. They're like a fiver each, and I was like, oh, that looks quite good. The creature looked like the creature. It was like as good as Larry's one there, but just smaller. I was like, but again, I'm trying to resist buying things, and so I didn't.
Well, Matt, was it the reaction figures? Was it the little kind of fucking old school Star Wars size figures?
No, it was. They look kind of like rubbery. I'll try and find them.
The bendy ones.
Bendables.
They might have been, the small one. But I was actually impressed with how good that they looked for the price and the size. Like the faces look really good. Because I think I'll just tend to buy things now based on either really weird, obscure things from my youth, or like they look so accurate that I can't say no, and then everything else in between. And the only thing that I was buying blindly was the once I collected every original Star Wars figure, I sold them all and got rid of them all, and then I started buying retros. But then retros became super popular, and they just released ridiculous retros that nobody wants. And then I have kind of slowed down on those a bit.
Matt, did you ever collect any of the Power of the Force ones back in the day?
Yeah, I did. I had a few when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had them all. I had them all by the end of lockdown.
I love Ashen's video on them. He's like, they're so fucking hench. What the fuck?
Yeah.
They didn't skip leg day.
Oh yeah. The modern Power of the Force. Sorry. Yeah. Speaking of Ashen's, his film that he's making sounds like it's going to be great. It's like a horror film that works backwards. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, he crowdfunded it, right?
Yeah. I'm getting a little Ashen's baseball cap for my whatever ridiculous amount of money.
So it looks like, man, speaking of not buying things, I can't buy anything else this week before I get out of money jail. Gotta wait till next week. She said that, but then she says, I pre-ordered the jumbo pop of Alien Romulus. Well, guys, we're going into what? Wow, 2:20, 2 hours 20 minutes, guys. So I guess we'll go ahead and end it here, and because I know it's late for you all, so I don't want to keep y'all any longer. Yeah, see, Matt's already falling asleep, guys.
That's just some old though. It's nothing.
But y'all have anything coming up? Marty, you want to pimp anything that you got coming up on your channel?
Yeah, I got 2 tins in immediate future. Tomorrow, myself and Jen, as I said before, we're doing Tanya's Island for Trash Fire. Again, Vanity has sex with some kind of Bigfoot creature on an island. And then on Tuesday, I'm talking with Mike Tarm, who is the understudy of Ray Harryhausen, all about the original 1933 King
Nice.
Kong. So we're going to be discussing the making of that and the influence on cinema. So
wow,
that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
What about you, Matt?
I'm watching Chopping Mall with Al.
Nice.
So it's just so funny. It was like we're talking about the impact of Ray Harryhausen. I'm like watching Chopping Mall with Al.
Hey, we could get a Criterion version of Chopping Mall, yes.
We certainly need something. We need and I've got every version I've got of it is in like a pack of 8 DVDs. But yeah, I was going to say if I had £1 for every time I watched that film, I'd probably have £10. So I can't wait.
He's like, Professor, they'll sell my bodily services to wealthy, sexy ladies. I would be able to buy that Home Depot Chucky animatronic.
Wow.
Everybody's saying bye. That they great stream. Good night, everyone. Take care, everyone. As for me, I don't really, other than I dropped a video today on some recent pickups, I have the stream tonight with Sean over on Sean's channel. So, it should be in the next 30 minutes, something like that. So definitely y'all head on over and check out Alien 3 with us. Jen is saying great stream, guys. And I definitely have to give it up to Marty and Mr. Matt for joining me and taking over while I had a minor emergency.
You're lucky you didn't lose all your fucking audience.
I know. We didn't do a good job. What are you thanking us for? We were terrible.
Hey, man, I mean, there's 12 people here, and then there's like 16 likes, so I'll take it, man. Well, it's good. It's good
guys,
enough for me.
2 things to remember as well. There's a link to Don's t-shirt in the chat, and there's a link to Larry's t-shirt channel in the chat as well. So that's something that I would recommend. Even in the UK, you only have to wait about 4 months, and you've got a t-shirt on your doorstep.
Wow, 4 months?
I'm joking. I'm joking. It was like a couple of weeks.
Usually, I was gonna say usually T Public is just like they're pretty good about putting stuff out.
It's the crew, the Demeter. Why have we all these t-shirts?
Why have we got all these Horror Cat Dad t-shirts? They're weighing the ship down.
They're gonna end up in like Africa or something like that. So like all the loser teams that win in the big sports events.
They're wearing the t-shirts.
Yeah, next comic relief, you'll see all the Horror Cat Dad t-shirts.
Fucking Hurricane Katrina. They're just fucking handing them out. It's like these poor bastards here.
Right, these poor kids. They're having to wear these like the owl. What does that even mean?
It's like I've got to wear these or it's nothing. So. Yeah.
No, but thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us, and everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming by and just chilling with us. Like I said, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, normally it's in the house, but since Don has been busy with life stuff, so I figured just come on and hang out and stuff like that. So next Friday maybe we'll do this again. If you guys are available, or if not, I'll try to go solo or get somebody else to come on. One or the other. It's just more of like I'm glad I got to hang out with you guys and everybody in the chat. Y'all, I say it time and time again. All of y'all, Matt, Marty, everybody in the chat, y'all are absolutely awesome, and I can't thank y'all enough for hanging out. And
right back at you, man. It's been awesome to finally get on a stream with you as well, Marty. I appreciate it. It's been really good fun.
It's like I fucking probably have the ear burnt off, Jesus Christ, you're probably like, does this fucking Mick ever shut up?
Russell says 19 likes, so thank you,
all.
everybody. And it's maybe on. You need to let me be on the StreamYard. Yeah, maybe one of these days, Joseph. We'll see. Maybe we'll halfway to heaven before the devil knows we're dead.
Oof.
It's deep shit, man. Take care, all. And on that note, guys, everybody in the chat, thank you again so much for hanging out. And if you guys want to stick around real quick, and I'll say goodbye to you all. But everybody else in the chat, everybody else watching in the future, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. And we'll see you all next time. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.